Hi everyone, welcome back to your soon-to-be favorite podcast. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is
Here We Grow. I'm jealous. I wanted Chick-fil-A today and I didn't get it.
Girl.
We had Sloppy Joe.
That's good.
Yeah.
That sounds
You
really
like
good.
Sloppy Joe?
I love Sloppy
I wondered
Joes.
when I was making it, I was like, I wonder if Angelica likes Sloppy Joe.
I don't remember where I used to have them at, but do we have them at school? Like in high
Maybe.
school? Or was it at Hawthorne?
I don't think Hawthorne.
Well, I for sure never had them at home.
No.
But I had them somewhere else. I thought they were really good.
Maybe at my house or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
It's a very cheap meal because you just need a pound of hamburger and a can of manwich.
Oh.
It's really cheap. And then bread, obviously, to put it on. But
Yeah. Maybe it was at your house then.
it's really good, obviously, with mayonnaise on it. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
But yeah, you put mayonnaise on your bread and then you put your Sloppy Joe on. And then recently we realized that we love to get Colby Jack sliced cheese and melt it
that's
on.
what I was gonna ask, yeah.
No better cheese than a thick slice of Colby Jack cheese on it, or like thick shreds of Colby Jack are good too. But anyway, hey besties,
Hello.
we're back. Angelica's back.
I'm back.
This is her first time recording in a month.
No, this is my first time recording since I'm married.
Since you've been married. You know by now this is the wedding recap. It's been all over Instagram, and you've obviously read the title and maybe even the description.
Yes.
We're going to talk about your bachelorette party. We're going to talk about your wedding.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. I got some questions for you.
Okay, do you just want to, like, me go and then you ask as a necessary or what?
Yeah, I mean, like, just say... I was going to have you do, like, a rundown of the bachelor party, and then I'll ask whatever questions weren't covered, then rundown of the wedding, and then I'll ask.
Okay. I didn't write down any of the bachelorette stuff, because I was like, did we talk about that or not? And I didn't want to,
We didn't talk about it, because...
We talked about talking about it, right?
Yes.
Did we have any questions?
Only one question from Stephanie.
Okay.
So I made up the rest of the questions. Which was great. Thanks, guys, for making me do all the work.
Gosh, it's okay.
We need y'all to be involved in the Q&As.
Moving on.
We see you see the story and not ask a question.
We see you. I mean, we see you.
We see the story and not do anything.
We see you. We see you stalking yourself, you nasty pervert. Okay, yeah. So the bachelorette party. Well, first of all, we went together, Jose and I, bachelorette party. We went to Nashville, Tennessee.
I was not on this trip. I couldn't go. So all this is news to me, most of it.
Yeah. So a lot of our bridal party couldn't go. We have a lot of new mamas, so totally understand. We had, I think, a group of 11 of us go. And when we first started talking about it, oh God, I'm gonna bring it up. It's okay. I'm over it. When we first started talking about it, I just assumed Jose and I would do it together. Like, our groups go together, do everything together, go to bars together, whatnot. And Jose is like, no, we're going to do things separate. And I was like, why? So you can go to strip clubs? And he would just laugh and giggle. And it took me a couple of days. And I thought to myself, like, okay, Angelica, that's like the most cliche thing. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Like, it's going to happen, so you better get on board. Like, it's either you're okay with it because you know it's going to happen, or you tell him no and he's going to do it anyway. Him or his guys. Yeah, and then I'm going to be upset. Yeah. So it took me a couple of days, and I'm like, all right, fine. Go do your nasty shit, whatever. Go to a strip club. Strip club, right? Okay. So, and then I thought, wait a minute, I'm going to be in, like, cowboy town. Like, the fuck? So I wanted to fill up my time with as many things to do, so I'm not even thinking about him. So we went to a drag show with brunch, which was really cool, but the best part was we went to this show. Oh my God. We went to this show.
I've only heard bits and pieces of this. So.
Okay. I'm about to lay it all down for y'all. So I
literally and figuratively.
Well, I Googled male strip clubs, and of course a bunch popped up. one that was really popular was booked up like that whole weekend or something. Or no, wait, there was a spot opening. Their spot open that day, but we weren't gonna be able to make it because Steph and Kelsey were coming in later. Steph and Gabby.
I was like, what? I didn't go. I was like existentially like questioning, did I go?
Wait. Yeah, so they were coming in later into town, so we couldn't make that show, and then all the other times were booked. So I found another one that was, I mean, it was just as equally like well reviewed, called Hunkomania.
So cliche.
I know, and so I was looking at the tickets, and if you know me, you know I'm like cheap. Like I don't need to be in the front row of anything. I don't need to be whatever. So I was like, let's just get general admission and like call it a day. Well, the more I looked into it, it said something like not guaranteed a seat, and I was gonna wear my hooker heels. Like I was gonna wear like my 7-inch
Yeah.
huge
Definitely need
heels.
a seat.
And I was like, oh hell no, like I'm gonna be tired.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting like the VIP seats or something like that. And it was first come, first serve, like seating wise. Like, you get seated as you get in line.
Yeah.
So we got dropped off at Hunkomania to see where it was at, and then we went and got dinner, like the place next door to it. And I think the show started at 10:30, and we got out of eating like at 10ish almost. And we're like, okay, we gotta go make a line. Like, we gotta go get in line. And we were the first ones in line. We looked so fucking desperate.
They made it seem like you gotta be the first in line
That's
half
what
an
I
hour
thought.
before.
Yeah, like that's what it was making it seem. And I was like, oh shit, like we need to get in
and
line.
maybe sometimes it is like that, like maybe during like holiday weekends and stuff.
Yeah. Well, as soon as we started the line, it like within half an hour down the fucking street.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Okay. Okay, this is cool. And so as we're waiting, 10:30 comes and passes. And girls are slowly trickling down from the club. So first of all, it's I think it was on the third floor. So it was a long stairs to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these girls are coming down like wobbling. They're coming down all shooketh. They're coming down like they just experienced the most amazing thing ever. They're acting like brand
like
new.
they've just been dicked down, basically.
And we were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
One girl almost fell. She couldn't find her friends. We had to tell her where her friends went. Some older ladies came down and they're like, guys, we're like, okay. Some lady without a leg. And she was like the most excited. And then this girl and like, I don't know, her aunt come down and they were like, are you guys gonna go see the show? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, you will not be disappointed. And I'm like, I don't know what that means because I don't really have any expectations.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking this is like a
my
Magic
bar's
Mike.
like down here, so disappointment's not really on the map.
And I'm thinking it's like a Magic Mike show. Yeah. Like the guys are on stage and we just gotta get to watch. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, they will grab you. They will like pin you up against the wall. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Huh? And then they start showing
This ain't no haunted house.
I was like, wait, like you have to like wear like a special bracelet to get touched? Like what's happening here? Yeah. Like I'm not trying to get touched.
Yeah.
And her like aunt pulls out a video of her getting whatever against the wall. Like he choked her with his belt and my god. I was like, oh, but you paid extra for this? And I thought she said yes. So I was like, okay, like we're just there to watch the show and then watch the girls who paid extra have their fun. So we're like, okay, whatever. And she's like telling us like, look out for Angel Wings or Romeo or all these guys' names. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. I'm not gonna remember that. Thanks. So we finally get seated and we're in the I'm talking first row. I can touch the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
you have
like,
a bride sash on?
Yeah.
So you were like a bullseye.
Yeah. We were wearing cowboy hats, typical, I know. I had a white one on that Jess got us, and then I had the sash. Mm-hmm. And then we sat front row, like right there was the stage, which I wasn't expecting that. And then this guy came over, I think his name was JJ. he like came over and he's like explaining to us, he's like, hi, how you guys doing? Like, we guys here celebrating? And we tell him, and he's like, oh, that's awesome. And he's being like really sweet. And he like, I don't know how it's happened or how it started, but he looked at my cousin Kathy and he was like, you're looking a little uncomfortable. Like, are you doing okay?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I've just never been to one of these or something like that. And he was like, do you not want to get touched? And I'm over here like, I don't.
I thought it was the other way around.
I thought, hold on. And she goes, no, I don't want to get touched. And he goes, okay, you see this table here? There was a small table next to the
stage.
No, like they were on like me, Stephanie, and Gabby were in chairs, and they were in a booth.
Okay.
And there was a small circular table there, and he was like, you see this table here? That's gonna be your barrier. If you put this table in front of you, that indicates to the guys that you do not want to be touched.
Yeah.
And so her and Jess get from under that table. They're like bringing that table to themselves. And so it's just me, Steph, and Gabby out in the open, kind of. And I was like, well, it's my bachelorette party. Like, I'm gonna, I'm thinking.
Get the experience.
I'm thinking they touch you a little bit, whatever.
Yeah, like rubbing on you and stuff.
Yeah, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. And then
totally forgot about what the lady said in the parking lot.
No, I did. I totally forgot what she said, because in my mind, I'm thinking that there are hot seats. I'm thinking girls paid extra to be up on stage with them, getting touched. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm safe. I'm cool. We're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
And so so they're like explaining, like, we go based off tips. I have some cash for you if you need to exchange it, or we also, I think they do like Cash App. Is that the other one?
Cash App, yeah.
Yeah. Whatevs. And so the room starts getting filled, and I'm looking around. I mean, yeah, majority's like bachelorettes. There's some like birthday girls or whatever. And the owner, Romeo, he comes on stage and he kind of explains a little bit more about how this is going to go down. I'm like, why are they explaining so much? Like, I thought y'all were just going to be dancing. Like, what is going on?
Why are there so many disclaimers?
Well, there are so many disclaimers.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget, he said this. He said, the more you touch them, the more they'll touch you. So that girl.
Yeah.
So I keep that in my head, because that's exactly what it is. Like, if you don't want to get touched, you need to indicate to them, no, thank you. Yeah. Look away, cross your arms. Yeah, like you need to indicate to them, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But they will not go. Like, if they sense that you're uncomfortable, they will stop.
Yeah.
However, the more you touch them, the more they touch you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, just getting a little uncomfortable. Okay.
The same feelings are being brought back.
Listen. It was like Magic Mike. But like, oh my God, every girl in that room got dicked down, basically. But with clothes on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was an experience for sure. So like, one or two guy would go up there, do their dance. He would pick like one or two girls randomly.
Yeah.
To come on the stage with him, and he would do the dances with him. In between each performance, 7 to 10 guys would go out into the girls and just hump them.
Yeah.
Do whatever, and they would like switch, and they would like literally, I would look at Jess like, what is going on? It felt like a fucking orgy, dude. Yeah. Like, oh my God, it was just
an orgy with clothes on.
Honestly, though, it was comedic. Like, it was just so funny. Like, just watching these other girls. I was kind of more reserved. I don't know, just out of respect for myself and Jose, I didn't want to be like on the floor with my clothes getting like. Well, like if
you were single and it was your birthday, then
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was showing videos to my mom, and she was like, "Wait, are you sure this wasn't Stephanie's bachelorette?"
Oh yeah, I can understand Stephanie being like all in.
Oh my, she was all in. Yeah. Like, she got pulled on stage a couple times. I think like 3 times for her. I got up there like once or twice. But they pull you, like, you have no choice. You have to, like, you don't have to.
You could say no and sit down, but
and so, oh my God, like,
what about Gabby?
She was never called on stage, I don't think, but they came up to her. Like, I think she was like the first person they came up to. And I mean, there's this one trick or whatever where wherever you put a dollar bill, they'll come and get it.
Oh.
So like Stephanie kept shoving them in her shorts. A lot of girls were like sticking them down there.
Yeah.
Or like their boobs, or like
Yeah.
if they had like a necklace, they would, whatever. Like wherever the dollar was, they went and got it.
Yeah.
And there's like this guy who was like having like money in his crack. And like he would like, he would put like the money in his mouth.
Oh.
And but yeah, I mean, it was a good show. 10 out of 10, I recommend.
Is that the only place you guys went that night? Like, did you go somewhere else afterward?
Yeah, that was it. We were pooped out. I mean, that was like a 2.5 hour show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it like started like around 11. We were done by like, I think we were home by like 2:30.
Home?
Like
you mean the Airbnb?
The Airbnb, yeah.
So was that Friday or Saturday night?
That was Friday.
Okay.
Saturdays we went to Dragon Brunch, and we did something else. Oh, Saturday we went out with the guys.
Okay.
So Saturday we decided to go together. Oh my God, Nashville is so much fun. Like I would totally go again.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different bars and clubs. Like, so much fun. Absolutely fun. Sorry. I'm getting all these flashbacks. Wait, before we start talking about the male strip club, they had the, oh my God, what was it?
Wait, so did you get pulled up on stage?
Yeah. Oh no, not on stage.
Oh, okay.
Off stage.
Okay.
But with the main guy.
Yeah.
Stephanie though.
I want to see. I haven't seen any videos or anything.
No.
Mm-mm,
Should I show you now or later?
Later.
Okay. So they, I think it was if you're celebrating a birthday or something. No, I think they chose randomly. They chose like 10 random girls to go on stage.
Yeah.
And they had a twerk contest.
Did Stephanie do it?
No. They picked like random girls.
Oh, okay.
And then the next contest was all the bachelorettes, all the birthday girls. So I went up there. Guess what our contest was?
What?
A moaning contest. Bro, I should have fucking won. I was up
Wait,
there.
so did they do something to you to like make you moan, or you just like randomly moan?
Girl, no, we said it was a fake moan contest. And I'm up there with all these white girls, and I'm like, okay, I was like the fourth or fifth one to go, and I was like, okay, what's gonna like differentiate me? Yeah. And like, I said Poppy or whatever, but yeah, everyone went wild. I should have fucking won. It was this girl from Canada that won. She like made it funny, and I feel like that's why they voted. I don't know. Whatever. Still a little salty about that. Oh my God! And before I get off that too, yeah. So there was this girl there. She kept getting called on stage. Like every damn song she was there for her own goodness, because she was cute, because she was petite. I don't know. But like all the guys danced up on her. Like all the guys. And like I said, the more you touch them, the more they touch you. And she was giving in. Mm-hmm. She was getting humped on the ground. Yeah. And like bringing it back, like acting as if they're fucking having sex. Wow. And we were just staring at her the whole night, like, wow, she does not need to get married, because it was to the point where, like, I don't know, I feel like it was too much. Yeah. And at the end of the show,
do you think she was like really drunk?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
She was talking to one of the dancers named David. I remember this. She was telling David, hey, we're about to be at, I forget the club they were going to next. Hey, we're about to go to blah, blah, blah club. And her friends go, hey, what are you doing? And she said, what? You're acting like Jared's not out there doing worse. I don't know her fiance's name, but she said Jared. Let's just call him Jared. Yeah. Oh, you're acting like Jared's not out there doing worse. At least I'm not trying to fuck anybody. Bitch, you basically are.
And but also, if Jared's out there doing worse, then maybe you guys shouldn't be getting married.
For real?
What the hell is this?
And they exchanged numbers.
This is like those bad stories we were reading on the By the Asshole stories.
Yeah, we were like, oof, girl. Oh, that's not gonna last.
Not tasteful.
That is not gonna last.
No.
Also, you could tell the girls that were like sex deprived. I was like, yeah, girl, like you can tell the girls that
they just wanted to be touched. Yeah.
I was like, girl, go show your man. Go show your man what he needs to do for you.
Okay.
So. Oh, and before you judge me, Jose went to a nude strip club. Okay.
Which means no clothes.
Completely nude.
Assholes out. Okay, you can continue. I don't have anything to.
Oh yeah. And the second day we went to the club or multiple clubs. At one of the clubs, Jess tells me to turn around, and it's David, one of the dancers. And I went, well, whatever. and I like, if you know me, I'm a reactive person. I literally turned around and screamed as if I had seen a celebrity. And Jose's like, what? And I'm like, oh, one of the dancers we saw yesterday is there. It's just kind of funny. And I told him about the story of the girl, which is true.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
scandalous.
Right.
And then he looks over and he's like, he's not even that good looking. And I just look at Jess and we're like,
Yep.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
You're right. You're right.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, whatevs. Not a big deal.
But yeah, that was basically it. And then we had a good time. We drove home.
Okay, so what's the best meal you ate while in Nashville?
Okay,
So I know y'all ate.
Yeah, they have their Nashville hot chicken.
Uh-huh.
Super good. I had that on top of mac and cheese, and it was delicious.
Oh, like a dish with mac and cheese on it. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Delicious.
Did you get wasted?
No.
Neither nights?
No.
Did any of the girls that you were with get wasted?
No.
Like not even a little drunk?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
you guys were having a good time with that?
Yeah, we're just having a good time. Like, you could get drinks at the show and at brunch, but like we were just so into enjoying the show that like, the guys got drunk though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. They're little alcoholics.
Yeah.
What was the best or most memorable part of the whole trip? The male show.
Bro, it like,
I think because it surprised you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I can't even talk about some stuff without feeling icky. Like, yeah. It's just so much.
We need to have a separate conversation about it off the podcast.
Yeah, like it was Magic Mike to the nth degree.
Do you want to shout out all the people that went on the batch party trip?
Okay, so it was Gabby, Stephanie, Jess, Kathy. Then the guys would be Omar, Neto, Mariano, Felipe,
Luis.
Did I say Omar already?
Yep. Okay. Omar was the first one.
And then Jose? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Shout out. Thanks for coming.
Shout out.
I won't even do it again. Shout out. No.
Shout out. Let's take a break though, because we're at 23 minutes.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're on to the wedding.
First of all, I wrote my notes down.
I have lots of questions too,
okay.
So we'll see.
First and foremost, oh wait, let me give an update on my finger.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Okay, so y'all know I got pricked by a thorn back in May, and then this bump came out, and I went to the doctor. She thought it was an infection, treated me with antibiotics. It didn't work, it didn't do anything. And then she thought it was a fungus, gave me medication that wasn't working. So she finally referred me to a dermatologist. On Wednesday, I went, and she just numbed me. She got a huge razor, just shaved it off the top, cauterized it, called it a day. I mean, they're gonna like biopsy it and see what it really is, but she thinks that it's just trauma from the wound, like me actually getting pricked.
I was screen recording apparently.
Oh. And I mean, she thinks I'm gonna be fine, guys.
Yeah.
But it hurts like a bitch.
Oh, it still hurts?
Mm-hmm. Well, because the skin's trying to repair itself, and I think with all the movement.
Yeah, and it's your right hand index finger.
Yeah, and I mean, it did just get sliced off, so.
Yeah. More trauma.
Yeah. But it's going to leave a scar there, and
hopefully it won't be too much of a bugaboo.
And hopefully it never comes back.
Yeah. Does she think it'll come back?
No. Well, she didn't say that, but I don't think so. She did say that she had just had a patient, similar story as mine, got pricked by a thorn. Mm-hmm. A couple weeks later, a bump grew from that, from the injury. And she was like, I think it's just a trauma. I think it's just like, and same thing. She also thought she had a splinter in there. I don't think she tried to get it out, but yeah. So she just, I don't know. I mean, I must have pricked my finger very fucking hard then because I don't know.
Usually when you buy them from the grocery store, though, they're like dethorned.
Yeah, which is why I was so shocked. And I remember thinking, like, what the fuck? So many thorns on these roses. But it was like it wasn't last minute. But you can't buy flowers like in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just went, okay, fuck it, it's fine. Like, dozen roses. I was buying it for 4 people. I don't want to spend that much money. And yeah, now I'm fucking scared of roses.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Okay, so first and foremost, I would always joke with Jose and say, like, well, if we buy a house on Tuesday, I want to get married that Saturday. And that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. That's what you said in your little speech when we were at Eagle Creek.
Yeah, because I would literally say that. Like, I would literally. So before we even bought the house, when Jose proposed to me back in December of 2021, his original thought process was fall of 2023, which I thought was, that's way too far out.
To buy the house.
No, to get married.
Oh, okay.
To get married. His original was fall of 2023, and I thought that was too far away.
Yeah.
And then we shifted, because we started planning the wedding. We started looking at venues, looking at like budgeting and how much everything was going to cost. But then we shifted that to buying a house. So then I would joke and say,
well, and other circumstances came up to make you more for looking for a house.
We will not speak on that.
You just had a very full household, and it was like, okay, I need to
get my own.
Need to get out of here.
Yeah. So we bought the house in February, and then like in April, once we were all kind of like settled in, I told him like, okay, let's start planning the wedding, and he's like, we just got in the house, like, come on. And I'm like, no, like, if it's gonna, because then he started pushing it a year or two after that. I'm like, okay, well, let's at least go to church and see what they say, what's necessary, like what's required.
Yeah.
So we go to church and we ask them like, hey, like, what are the requirements to get married at the church? And they're telling us all these requirements. We're like, okay, cool. And they're like, it'll be $800 for the mass, not including the chorus, the choir, I meant. And we're like, $800, GD, like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, all right, if that's what it is. And I don't know if they could tell that we were like, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're like, or you could do the collective weddings that we do here. And we're like, oh, what's that? And they're like, it's when multiple couples get married in the same mass, but it's $300 versus the $800.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, I mean, it's either we pay $300 or we pay $800. Like, it is what it is.
And it was still magical, I think.
I thought it was beautiful.
I think it was too.
Yeah. And looking back,
I cried multiple times.
But see, looking back on it though, I don't regret it because the collective weddings, they already had a date set.
And it like pushed you to make sure you kept that date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had Jose and I chosen our own date, we would not be married today. Like, God knows when that would have happened. So I kind of wanted to push towards the collective wedding.
Yeah.
That was
it like kept you accountable
reasoning.
To that date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, money is money, but it was saving some. I mean, that was my dress basically.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's true.
Dress and shoes right there.
Yeah.
So we decided to go with the collective weddings. The date was already set. So from the end of April to 9/9, we had less than 4 months to get everything together.
And mind you, the end of April, they just bought their house in February. So they'd only been in their new house for 2 months.
Yeah.
Before you started planning, like, nose to the ground.
I know. Well, that's what I thought too. Like, who knows? I feel like if we get too comfortable, then we're not going to, I don't know. For me, there's like a saying, gotta get it while it's hot, or gotta, you know what I'm saying?
I know what saying you're talking about, but I can't think of what it is.
Like, we have the motivation now, like, let's do it now. Yeah. Like, if we get more comfortable,
well, it also,
just get
like,
back.
I think it was like kind of a cool thing to do it in the same year, because it was like 2023 was like your guys' year.
It really has been our year.
Yeah.
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 And I wasn't even planning on getting married this year. Like, I mean, the house, not really the house either.
No, the house kind of like was like, oh my God, this is the house. And then you put your offer in not thinking you were going to get it. And then you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. I wonder what will happen next. We still have 3 more months.
I wonder what will happen next in 2023.
Yeah. So that's why we chose the collective weddings. We had a lot of help financially. And thank you so much to those who contributed. I think times like these really like surprise you who steps up. Yeah, and not necessarily financially, but just like with their time too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
time is very valuable,
Yeah.
especially when they have their own families to worry about, and when they're caring for you, you're like, oh shit, like you actually care about me, like I okay, cool, like
Yeah.
you really start to see like who your people are,
And
and
like who cares about you and Jose as a couple, not just
yes,
like you individually.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that was really nice to see. That was the most nice to see is just everyone stepping up, like, okay, what do you need? What can I help with?
Yeah.
And at times I almost felt like selfish, like, oh my god, you're
Like
giving
you
up,
don't deserve it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you're giving up so much time to be here, you're giving up money to give to me all because I want to get married,
Yeah.
like that should be my burden and my burden alone.
Yeah.
And I mean, people were
It's very
just,
much your personality.
yeah, and like I anytime someone gave me something, like I cried, like, and I'm like, why are you crying? I'm
Yeah.
like, because like, why are you doing this for me? Like, I don't understand. They're like, what do you mean? I'm about to cry now. Like, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
It really was.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's get into it. Details.
Yeah. So venue was the
Dry it
first.
up.
Venue was
Might happen again.
Venue was the first thing I got, which I understood that to be the most important thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have a wedding without a party. You can't have a party without a venue. That's what I meant to say. So I like looked everywhere. I finally found one. It was all set to go. They with the venue. What? It included
this whole story.
It included, you know, like the tables, the chairs, the table covers, the chair covers, catering, security, bartender, cleanup, everything. It included everything,
Yep.
and it just worked out. Like everything that we needed was there.
Yeah, the only thing you needed to bring was your own centerpieces and
the
your
alcohol,
own DJ. Yeah,
and the DJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it was like, it's funny because like you talk about like in budget, out of budget. We didn't have a budget. We just kind of
like that's what we need. That's what we're gonna do.
That's the cheapest option. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people helped a lot, so that really helped us a lot. So we got the venue, and that was like taken care of within like a week from agreeing to get married.
Yeah.
That in April or in September. So once that was done, I was like, okay, on to the next thing. Let's go get my dress. Be very careful who you pick to go dress shopping with you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe less is more.
I think less is more. The first time I went dress shopping, I had my mom, my mother-in-law, my sister, and my aunt. And it was too many opinions. It was too loud. I feel like what I wanted wasn't being heard.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some people were there for their own game.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't there for me. And so I ended up choosing a dress that in the moment I thought it was my decision. I thought it was a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. So I sat there for like 2 weeks with it, and I like really thought to myself, like, okay, like once the high of buying a dress wore off, I like really sat there and I'm like, hold on a damn minute. I don't think I really want this dress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the right dress. So I decided to go with my maid of honor only to go look at dresses again. And I didn't really think to find anything. Like at that point, I kind of felt not defeated, but as a bigger girl, you kind of don't even like dress shopping to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and like the whole hassle of it. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, I got to do this again. Like, all right, let's try to have a positive attitude. And we're looking at dresses, and I see this dress, and it literally looks like a table cover. And I'm like, ew, this is so ugly. But it was my size, so I was like, okay, fuck it. Like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'll just try it on.
Well, in a dress that's already your size, like,
oh yeah,
you're not gonna need to like alter it as much. And the other dress was 2 sizes too big, wasn't it? The first dress.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Yeah, it was too big. It needed so many alterations to make it to what I wanted to. I was gonna pay more in alterations than the dress was worth. It just everything that it just. I look back on that day and I'm like, that was a train wreck. Like, I should have not even bought a dress. I should have just waited and
Yeah.
kind of like slept on it. I think it was just fine. I mean,
I'm sure like in the moment it felt like, well, I've got to pick a dress. Like this is my day.
yeah, literally, I felt like I only have today to pick it, so just pick one.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt like it too.
Yeah.
So I tried on this dress. I'm telling you, cause like it literally felt like a glove. Like I know I said that on another episode. Whoopsie. But I tried it on. Perfect fit. It was off the shoulders, which I love off the shoulders. It had sleeves, which is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was more of a ball gown, which I said to myself, like, I don't want like a ball gown dress. I don't want to look like tu quinceañera.
Yeah.
But nah, this was beautiful. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, this was the dress that was so ugly on
the rack.
Yeah. And I ended up getting that dress. I went online to find reviews, and all the girls that had bought that dress, they said the same thing. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. It looked ugly on the rack, but try it on.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay, so it wasn't just me. Because I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh shit, like I really talked shit about my own dress. But no, like everyone...
And if you haven't seen the dress, go to our Instagram. There's a picture of her and Jose on our Instagram.
So pretty.
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
Very fitting. Very like you.
Yeah.
Not just fit like a glove size wise, but like fit like a glove, like it was meant for you.
It really did feel like it was meant for me.
Uh-huh.
And I put a petticoat underneath too to make it even more poofy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dress was just so heavy, it kind of just like laid flat, and it was kind of like corset at the top a little bit. It like had some binders, and then it just laid flat. So I was like, I wanted it to be a little poofier, so I got a petticoat for it. But yeah, and then like everything just fell into place after that. Like we got the drink set up. We made the centerpieces fairly quickly.
Yeah, on a weekend or something.
Yeah, like one weekend we made the girls' bouquets. Like I knew where I was going to get my flowers from. Like everything was just put into place. Everything was checked off.
Yep.
It was just a matter of waiting and paying shit off.
Yeah.
And then we get to less than 3 weeks before the wedding. We have an appointment with our venue guy to go taste food. And, you know, we have this date set up from a couple of days prior. And we're like, hey, can we take our parents to taste the food with us? And he said something like, oh, I'm so sorry. My wife, who was making the food, cut her finger. And could it just be you and Jose? Like, could it just be you two? Your parents can come another time. And we're looking at each other, we're like, well, maybe like she cut her finger and some of the blood got into the food, and that's why they didn't make enough or something. We're like, okay, like whatever, like it's a weird request, but whatever. So we went and we're excited, and already we walk in and there's no food, and we're like, okay, awkward,
something's up.
Weird, yeah, something's up.
Yeah.
He sits us down and he's like, so how you guys been? Like, all, you know, happy, everything's fine. And then he said, I made a grave mistake. And I'm like, you didn't bring the food? You forgot it? Like,
what kind of mistake are we talking about
And he's like, I accidentally double booked your date. And when he said that, I literally was like, say psych right now. Yeah. Like, this is a
You're
joke.
You're fucking joking. Am I on punked? Where's Ashton Kutcher right now?
It wasn't like registering.
Yeah.
I think we both stared at him blankly. We weren't asking questions. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And he didn't offer how it happened, who the other people were, or like why or how or what. Didn't offer any of that. He just said, I'm so sorry. I double booked you. I have never made this mistake. The only time I've made a similar mistake was when I first bought the venue 15 plus years ago. Mm-hmm. Hasn't happened since. But like, you know, so he tells us all this, and Jose, of course, gets angry. And I'm a fawner. So I'm a person that's like, it's okay, no worries. Like, I just want to fix it. Like, I don't want to dwell on the bad shit. Like, how
like,
can
tell us how you're gonna fix this?
Yeah, like how can we move forward? Like, what's gonna happen here? Like, what?
Like, I'm sure you knew you were gonna tell us this. So I'm sure you've already considered how you're gonna fix this,
right?
Before bringing us here without food.
And Jose,
you could have at least fed us before you told us all this.
I know. Jose's like getting snippy with him, and I'm noticing that, so I'm trying to keep my cool. because I just feel like two hotheads like won't get us anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're less than 3 weeks to the wedding. Like
we need a resolution, not an
yeah,
argument.
there's no time to be angry right now.
Yeah.
And so he like tells Jose, he's like, hey, as a man, I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally understand your anger. Like I would be angry too. Angelica, thank you so much for your grace. Like I appreciate you staying calm and collected. And he said, like please give me an opportunity to fix this. Like I'll find you another venue. I'll still keep the promises, everything in the contract. I'll still provide catering, tables, chairs, all of it. Like I also provide everything in the contract. We had a $2,000 balance, and he was like, "Don't even worry about it. That's forgiven." And so I'm like trying to take all this in, and I'm like, I think I just like kind of felt numb. I was kind of like, okay, okay, give us another venue then. Like, find us another venue.
It's out of your hands at this point.
I thought to myself, like, I, who tried to find a venue 4 months prior, was having trouble with a good venue.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find one out 3 weeks? Like, I almost don't believe that you will.
What's up?
You come say hi?
What's up? Anonymous. Forgot my Halloween decorations over there. Between the neighbors. You know, us neighbors, us husbands. That's what we call it over there. And talking about, yeah, decorations just do this. And like, your house looks really nice. One of the guys said, hey bro, why didn't your little blood waste for us? Trying to see my sperm over there or something?
Oh my god.
Who said that?
Ben. He's drunk.
Ben?
Yeah, he's drunk. He's funny when he's drunk.
Jess's Ben?
Yeah. Listen, hear me out. I was like,
I'm putting this in the podcast.
And then he's like,
we have purple lights around our house.
And he's like, you trying to see my sperm? And I was like, go.
Does he jack off near our house?
I don't know what he does. I was like, listen, bud, whatever you gotta do, man, just snow's gonna be on camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let him know it's gonna be on camera.
Snow's gonna be on camera, and I'm gonna just sell it, bud. Just make some money out of you. Anyway, we were talking about decorations that we want to put up and we're gonna buy and stuff like that. And I showed him the boogeyman thing we saw at Home Depot, the one that moves. This is so fucking cool, bro. Put it up like in the middle, so you look badass. Married life, you know what I'm saying? Huh? You got anything? You good?
We're good.
Cool. Go back over.
A real life weirdo.
I'm leaving all that in if you can hear it.
Just bark like a dog.
Yeah, I heard it. Hopefully the camera heard it. He's obviously been drinking a little.
Wow.
I knew when the tongue came out. I'm like, oh, he's been drinking. It's Friday night, guys. We normally record on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even say that.
Yeah, we would normally record on Wednesday night, but Angelica had a house guest Wednesday. So if you hear my voice is different, it's because I've been sick.
The last episode, I'm sick in the last episode.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sorry about your ears. Okay, so that was on Sunday, and he tells me, give me to the end of Monday, I'll have another venue for you. So, at this point, like, after we leave, I'm feeling very, like, defeated. Like, I'm feeling very disillusioned. I'm feeling very, like, okay, like, how I saw my wedding is no longer going to be that. Like, I envisioned us at that specific venue where everyone was going to be placed, like, the decorate. Like, I just envisioned everything so well, and when that happened, it just kind of, like, just shattered, and I kind of, like, I didn't want to give up necessarily at that point. But I told my mom about it, and she was trying to stay enthusiastic and optimistic. She's like, well, if he says he's going to find you another venue, like, give him the chance to do it. Like, he fucked up. Like, he's saying to give him a chance, give him a chance.
Yeah.
And she's like, he's a venue owner. He's got to know other venue owners. Mm-hmm. There's got to be something available. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'll give him to the end of Monday, and we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. End of Monday comes. I called him. We live on the west side. Everything's supposed to be on the west side. Everything, like all of our caterers, everything else is on the west side. Yeah. I call him, and he tells me he has a venue for
not only that, but the church is on the southwest side, kind of. And then we were going to be taking pictures at Eagle Creek, which is far west.
Yeah. Just everything's on the west. Like, our cakes were on the west side. At bakeries on the west side. Like, he answers, and he's like, yeah, I found you a venue. It's on the east side. And I'm like, bro.
What makes you think I want to drive to the east side? for the reception, and then have my guests driving home at 2 a.m. from the east side. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, I know everything's on the west side, so we'll just leave that as backup.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, give me another day.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a fawner, so I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. Like, let me know when you find something. And then I start crying. I remember I was in my driveway and I was just crying. And I was like, and Kelsey's like my comfort. So I call Kelsey whenever I have an issue, big or small, I call her. So I call Kelsey, and I think that was the first time I told you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
you actually texted me earlier that day at work, and I was like, fuck no. No, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I texted Kelsey what had happened, and she was like, well, let me look at other venues in case he can't really find one.
Yeah.
So
you were like, there's no way. We're only 3 weeks away. I'm like, oh, there's a fucking way.
Yeah. And like,
and we found 3 places.
God bless Kelsey. Yeah. She found 3 places that were available that day. And we're
within price range.
We were going to go look at them.
Yeah.
And then came Tuesday, and I called him again during the day, because now we're in communication with other venues ourselves, and I had asked him, like, is it okay if we ourselves find our own venue and you still provide all the services? And he said that was fine. And Jose was telling me to get our money back, and I even like asked at one point, can we get our money back? And he kind of made it seem like it was not possible. Like, he was like, you're putting a lot of pressure on me. And I'm like, homie, you're a venue owner. How do you not have
cash readily available?
Yeah, it just sounded very, I don't know, it was just a mess. Finally, he calls back and he's like, I have another venue for you. Something with Mexican venues, which if you're Mexican, you understand, they're not necessarily meant to be pretty. They're meant to be a big
like
space.
hold enough people.
Yeah, that's it. Like, the bathrooms may or may not work. The floor may or may not be shitty. It is what it is. Like, unless you're dropping at least 15K on just the venue, then that's different. But if it's below 15K, I mean, it's literally just a big space to hold your people. That really is what it is. So this space, I had never been there personally, but I had heard it was like a little ghetto. So I was kind of worried.
And the pictures online did not do it justice. It was nicer in person.
It really was, wasn't it?
Than the pictures online, I think.
Yeah, and
because the picture you sent me looked very much like, it looked like the ceilings were really low.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that.
No, we went to go tour it, and at that point, I was kind of like, okay, I don't trust him because he already broke the trust that we had when he double booked us. Which, how the fuck do you double book us when in every receipt, you've been collecting money from us for months now, on every receipt you put the date, so how the fuck did you double book us?
Right.
I don't understand, but it is what it is. And so I thought in my head, like, okay, what do we want to do? Because we have to make a choice here. We either allow him to, because yeah, sure, he got us a venue, that's nice, but is he still going to pull through with the rest of the promises?
Right.
Because now he has to tend to 2 parties.
Right. On the same day.
On the same day. He has to cook for both parties, have security, have bartender, have decorations and covers for both
Tables
parties.
and chairs, yep.
How is he going to do all that?
Right.
So either trust him to keep his word, to keep all his promises on the contract, or we start over with another venue. And in the moment, it felt so overwhelming to start over with another venue that I thought the better option was just to trust him and be like, okay, fine, he did get us a venue, so
yeah, it's like the lesser of 2 evils. Like, start over or just continue where we've already put our money and
just hope
for the
that
best. Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
He came through with everything that he promised us. Yeah, I mean,
I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out.
I can't think of any hiccups other than the DJ kind of going off the itinerary, and that there was something wrong with the bar. The tap was messed up or something.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think it was pretty good.
All right. So we get into the day of stuff. First of all, I tend to try to not have high expectations, especially when it comes to like beauty looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it's not gonna be exactly how I show you on the picture. Like I know that.
Yeah.
I think I was so scarred from my prom experience. I went to like this like Mitchell school or something,
Oh,
Michelle or something for prom. And I gave them an inspo pic of my hair and my makeup.
awful.
Awful.
I've never even seen your prom pic, I don't think.
You never will. Well, no. I literally came. I cried. I came home. I wiped all the makeup off. I redid it myself. She put 1,001 bobby pins in my hair. I took all them bitches out. Like
Yeah.
I could have done way better.
Yeah.
Like what the? I paid for this shit.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I just have really low expectations. I know it's not gonna look like the picture, so I might as well like not even whatever. But no, like my hair and makeup
Yeah.
came out
I know. I remember when
phenomenal.
I got here, I was like, wow. Yeah.
Amazing. Like I'm not trying to hype myself up. Like
It was good.
it was good. They're
Yeah.
good.
I remember I
They're
was worried
really
about your
good.
hair. I'm like, how is she going to make your hair like
Yeah.
this silky wavy when
Uh-huh.
you have like frizzy waves
Yeah.
already? And she did it.
She
They
did
look like you
it.
could surf on them
My
waves.
God. Her name was Luz Maria for my hair. And Danya, she did my makeup. Like, girl, shout out
Yeah.
because what the fuck? Y'all did amazing.
Yeah. And your
Like,
eyelashes are good too. Ruth did your
Ruth did my
eyelashes.
eyelashes.
Yeah.
Daniela did my nails. Just everything just came out perfect. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Our photographer was amazing. Aldo,
Oh yeah,
like,
he was awesome.
just
I really liked him.
so good. Like,
Yeah.
so talented. So
Literally captured everything.
literally captured everything.
Yeah.
And just great to work with.
Yeah.
Like, super easy to work with. Made us feel very comfortable.
He was
like,
very like knew exactly what he wanted.
yes.
He was never guessing or like,
No.
well, I don't know.
Just
Do you
a
want to do? He never
professional.
like left it up to you either.
No.
He was like, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, he after he got what he wanted, he was like, "Is there anything you
Yeah.
want to do?"
Yeah.
Just great, just phenomenal. Just
They had a drone when we were taking pictures at Eagle Creek.
I'm so excited to see that.
I know, I can't wait.
And then our DJ, Victor.
Yeah.
There were a couple of hiccups. I will say he rolled with the punches though, because we were an hour and a half behind. And I think he got a little bit frazzled on that. So some of the hiccups were like I think in two parts the wrong song played. But again, we were an hour and a half behind, and I had to make a couple of quick changes.
Let's talk about Victor's setup, because I was not expecting TV screens, pyrotechnics, smoke machine, LED lights that had your names on it. Whoa.
Actually, yeah, now that you're saying smoke machine, did you say fog machine?
Yeah, I said smoke machine. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, what really killed me was the pyrotechnics. Like, if you don't know what that is, like fireworks shooting out of like a planter, basically. Yeah. And there were 4 pyrotechnics in front of the stage, and like when you guys came up to dance,
it was amazing. It was his
setup.
There
was a good picture with the pyrotechnics in the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. No, for real. No, awesome. I mean,
more than what I expected. And then
setup was really good.
I was like creeping on Aldo's page, which is the photographer, and I saw another like wedding or quinceañera or something where Victor was the DJ. And I was like, oh, so yeah. He does this.
And what's so funny is that the day of the wedding, Victor, the DJ, came up to me and he is like, "Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't get you guys a smoke machine. It wasn't in the budget." And I was like, "I totally understand." Because we had to like bargain with him on the price. And so I was like, "I understand. Like, that means no fog machine. I get it." And then he pulls it out. And I was like, "Oh shit!"
And he pulls it out during your guys' dance.
It was just so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. It made for really good pictures.
It did. It was really good pictures.
Yeah, it was
and
really
videos.
Nice. Yeah, it was really nice. Like, it's not even just about the music. It really is like the setup as well. Yeah.
He helped like make it so that the venue wasn't just this concrete floor.
Yeah.
And tables and chairs. Like, he brought the like pomp and circumstance when it comes to like how nice the venue was. Like, he added that quality to the
and he
venue.
spoke English and Spanish, so
that
was helpful too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
here we had to do, this is so random, but there was a point in which someone had to tell the DJ to announce that their car alarm was going off outside, which is so like cliche of like something that happened during a party. Oh, somebody with a blue truck outside, your alarm's going off.
I think it was a blue truck.
It was a blue truck, yeah.
I think it was my uncle's.
Yeah, Stephanie came in and she was like, "Do you know who owns a blue truck?" I'm like, "I don't know." It's like, the alarm's going off. I was like, "You should go tell the DJ."
She did?
She did, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was very like obvious, like something that would happen during a party.
Oh, also, one last shout out. Let me pull them up real quick. So a couple like a month and a half ago, I had seen this post being shared by like a couple of my friends, and I clicked on it. And I normally don't click on stuff like that, but I don't know, something just caught my attention.
Drew you to it, yeah.
Someone drew me to this. Something drew me to this. I said that twice.
Someone you do that often on this podcast.
It's like my brain like skips. It's like oh my god. Okay.
It's like a stutter, but like different.
I know.
Something her thoughts and her feelings and her thoughts and her feelings.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. So basically this girl, she had just started her business with a photo booth rental.
Yeah.
That's her business. And she was offering events free, like the photo booth for free for a couple of hours at your event.
Yeah.
And
to like build up her like portfolio.
Yeah. And she's like, if you're interested, like if you're having an event coming up, like send me a message, comment on here. And like, I'm like, this sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
Like,
no way I'm getting this for free.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm thinking, surely so many people have reached out to her that my date is probably already like chosen.
Or she's got too many free ones.
She's got too many free ones. Yeah. But I literally sat on it all night, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna send her a message.
What's the worst that can happen?
She'll tell me no, and it is what it is. No, nothing was lost.
Or if she's not booked, book her and pay her, depending on what her price is.
Yeah, and so I reached out to her, and I said, hey, like, congratulations on your company. I saw that, I saw your post. I have a wedding coming up. I would love for you to like be there. A photo booth would just be like so cool, like an extra little magical little touch to it. Like, I don't know, it's just something cool. And she reached back out and she was like, absolutely, I'd love to do it. And I was like, oh my god, this is so neat.
Yeah, it was cool too. I did it.
And she was like,
Kendra was asking me, she was like, I'm gonna need the details for this photo booth because she wanted it.
Yeah. She made like a template with like flowers and like our last name and put our date on there. Her company is G&J Photo Booth Rentals, so look her up on Facebook.
Yeah, and so you like get in the photo booth, you would pick like props or whatever.
Oh yeah, they had tons of props.
They had props to choose from. Get in the photo booth, take 3 photos that would come out like you would in a old-fashioned photo booth with like the strip. And then at the bottom, it had the template that she made that said the Cabreras, 9923. And then you put in your phone number when you're done taking pictures, and it sends it directly to your phone. So like you're not getting it fully printed out; it just goes directly to your phone. And that was super easy to like download it and upload it to Facebook
so quickly. Yeah,
so nice. It was really cool.
I love it.
Highly recommend.
I'm so glad people took advantage of it and enjoyed it. And like, I don't know, I just thought it was like so neat. Like.
It was. I will say it was so bright. You walk away from it, you're like, you can't see because you have 3 flashes back to back.
Oh yeah.
And it was some bright ass ring lights on that one, but it was cool.
I thought that was so cool. And then I actually found out that she was the cousin to one of our groomsmen. Oh, like a family that we
did she not know that until she like?
I don't know if they. I wanted to be like, oh, by the way, your cousin's in our bridal party. Yeah. I don't want to be weird.
Yeah.
But as soon as she was done setting up, her cousin that was in our bridal party, his family were the first people to use it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they
maybe she figured it out before.
Or she figured it out. Yeah. But I was like, oh look, what a small world. Yeah. Like, anyway, just so cool.
It was cool.
All right, so a couple of notes here.
Just a couple.
I had to wake up at 5 a.m. I was so fucking tired.
And you didn't go to sleep till like what, 3 a.m.?
Oh my god, yeah. I couldn't sleep. Like
I couldn't sleep either.
I kept thinking about the party, like it kept me up at night. I
was up until probably midnight doing my nails because I wanted to do my nails at the last minute so I wouldn't mess them up.
Oh yeah.
So I did my nails probably up until midnight, and then I was just awake.
Yeah, just couldn't sleep. Yeah. I just had so many thoughts racing through my head, and
for me it was just excitement. It was like the night before Christmas. You can't sleep. Yeah, I was just excited. I wasn't worried. And that's like kind of the theme the whole time was like, I was excited and like you and Jess were worried.
Yeah. Well, I was worried about the party, but I was mostly in the beginning, I was disassociating hard. Like, I remember I woke up at 5.
Was it disassociation or was it like everything's gonna be fine, so there's no need to worry about it? Like let's do this.
No, definitely disassociation.
Okay.
Like I was just going through the motions. Like it didn't feel like it was my wedding. It didn't feel like this was happening to me until after the mass, where I realized like, oh shit, like we're fucking married now.
Yeah.
Like, just because I think it was because I woke up so early, I barely had any sleep, and it was just go time. Like the minute I woke up, it was just go time. I like made coffee for everyone, which no one fucking drank, which is fine. Made a whole pot of coffee, gone to waste. I like had a bunch of muffins and croissants. And at one point, I took one bite of the croissant, and then like the makeup artist or the hairstylist needed something. I set it down the corner of the table. Fucking big mistake. I came back, it was gone. And I was so confused. I was so sleep deprived. I was like, did I
eat it?
Yeah. What? And then Bolin comes by shaking his tail. And I'm like, God damn it.
Bolin
He ate my croissant. And then the conversations I had with the hairstylist and the makeup artist like were just so good that like it didn't really feel that they were doing. I was like you're doing this for a special event, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt very like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's how you felt when you were getting ready for a quince?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm getting ready for something, but I don't really know what.
Yeah, like it doesn't really hit you. Like I just have to go through all this. One thing that did kind of suck is
wait till you put your microphone back on before you start talking.
One thing that did suck though was that my parents were supposed to come to my house so the photographer could record us getting ready, like record them getting me ready and like first glances and that didn't happen. What's funny is that I think this happened before you got here. Yeah, I think this happened before you got here. I like called my mom and I put her on speaker because someone else had texted me. So I went something like, Mom, are you coming over? The photographer is going to film us getting ready. Remember I told you about this? Put her on speaker to go check a message. And she goes, you think I'm going to drive out there? I don't have any time. Are you kidding me? Y'all, my mom's not usually like that. She's very sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, she's loud, but she's very
soft-spoken,
sweet.
Though.
Yeah, and like, I think she was just like stressed.
Yeah.
And I hurried up and put her on speakerphone. I was like, okay, understood. I hung up. I walked over to the photographer. I was in another room. I came over to the photographer and he's like, so she's not coming. And I was like, I guess you heard that, huh?
Luckily, they're closer to the church, so.
Luckily, they are close to the church.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to the church, and another funny thing is I have like moments that like happen throughout the day that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm at the church. We're waiting to be like so doors to open and us walk down the aisle. I'm the first bride, and I'm just the closest by the door. I just so happen to be there. A photographer comes in. He looks dead at me.
Yeah.
Like doesn't see anybody else in the room. Just looks at me, shakes my hand, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Alec," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I shake his hand. I'm like, "Hi, Alec. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
And he can sense that I'm confused, and he's like, "I'm your photographer." And I was like,
"No, you're not."
I was like, "Oh, are you with Aldo? Like, are you his assistant or something? Like, are you guys like double photographers?" And he's like, "Aldo? Who's Aldo?" And I'm like, "My photographer."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wait a minute." And he like looks past me. He goes, oh, "You're not the only bride here." And I'm like, first of all, a bride contracted you and didn't tell you there's more wet. Like that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then his assistant comes in and he looks at her and he's like, "There's multiple brides." And she starts freaking out. And she's like, "What was the bride's name?" They have no idea what the bride's name is. They only know what the groom's name is. So they start yelling out the groomsman name.
The groom's name.
Yeah, the groom's name. Finally, they found the bride. But I just thought that was so funny and awkward. I was just like, "Hi." And he's like, "Oh, I'm your photographer."
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Oh my God. It was just so funny.
What's your next moment? Because I might want to put one in there.
Joking about Jose crying.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I always tell Jose, like, if I'm walking down the aisle, you're not crying, I'm turning back around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so he walked down the aisle first, obviously with his mom. And then I came down the aisle, and I wasn't crying. Like
I'm surprised you didn't cry.
I'm a very sensitive person.
I was crying.
I wasn't crying. I was smiling. I was just looking at everybody there.
You're dissociating.
Seriously, I had the most people.
Whose wedding is this?
I was like, oh my God, there's my cousin. I'm not my cousin. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so much fun to see everybody.
Yeah.
And then I get to the altar. I bow my head. I turn to look at Jose, and he has his back to me.
Well, he's looking straight ahead, like, and you're coming this way.
Yeah,
and he's looking straight ahead.
Yeah.
We're like looking at Jose, like, is he gonna look at her?
I was like, is he mad? Like, did something happen?
No, he
like,
was just nervous out his ass.
Are we calling it off? Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea what was happening.
I was thinking that in my head too. I'm like, you better look over at her. She's gonna think that like you don't want to be here.
I thought something was wrong.
Yeah.
So then finally he turns to look at me with tears in his eyes. Like,
he was just too nervous to look at you. So, okay, this is the story
no,
I wanted
his
to
mom
tell.
told him not to turn around. And I was like, wait, what?
Huge eye roll at that situation. But anyway,
okay.
So before you walk down the aisle, remember I said, I'm going to go say hi to Jose real quick. I'll be right back. And I had to tell you that because I'm holding your phone. I'm holding the money that's going to the church. I'm holding Jose's ring that I have to give to Chris. I'm like holding all this important stuff. I'm like, I'm not disappearing. I'm going to go talk to Jose. And you're like, okay. So I like go inside. He's just like 50 feet away. And he's sitting on a pew by himself.
Yeah, that's what Kathy said too.
He's just like sitting straight forward like
yeah,
this
he's just like
by himself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's probably so nervous. So I walk up behind him and I tap him on the back. I was like, hey, how are you doing? And he stands up, which I didn't expect him to do. And he's like, yeah, I'm just really nervous. And I was like, oh, it's okay. And I like go to hug him. And like, as I'm hugging him, I can feel like his like energy and his like emotions.
God.
And I'm like, okay, stop. I'm going to cry. And so I pat him like, it's going to be all right. And I had to walk away. And I planned on like talking him up and like encouraging him, but he like just the hug alone like released so much emotion to me. I was like, nope, gotta go. And then I got back to you and I was like teary-eyed. I'm like,
oh. What's
you're
wrong?
like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, it's good. It's good that he's emotional.
Oh my God, that was just too funny.
That was like, that moment to me was like, this is gonna be a good day. When I hugged Jose and I was like, you're emotional, you're nervous, that's a good sign. Like,
Jose's not like that.
No.
He's not he doesn't show his emotions. If he's nervous, he won't show it.
I was like almost proud because I'm like, I know that he doesn't show his emotions, but like if there's any day to be vulnerable, it's your wedding day. So I was like, the fact that you're like already showing emotion and to people that you care about around you, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good day. Yeah. That was like the sign to me, like, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The night before, he stayed the night at his best man's house, and I guess he was drinking with him, and he was pacing back and forth, and then at one point said, "I'm really marrying Angelica Figueroa." Like, I don't know. Like I was his crush or something.
It's been such a long time coming. I think. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's been such a long time coming that I thought for him it'd just be like, okay, like, let's do this. But no, like he was so emotional and like
he's like as starstruck as you are.
I was like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
I wasn't crying and it made me cry. I was like, why are you crying? Like it's so weird. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
And
I think it was almost kind of cool that he didn't look at you until you were like right next to him. Because then he got to like see.
That's what his mom was trying to get at. Like, don't look at her now. Like she's walking down the aisle. Like just you'll see her when she gets here.
Well, maybe he would have been like bawling like a baby if he would have saw you like.
Maybe
back.
I would have been bawling and crying had seen him look at me too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of worked out that way. Yeah. Like
I think it was fine.
He didn't get to see me until right at the moment.
Yeah.
Instead of watching me walk down the aisle.
Yeah. And waiting for you to slowly walk. And
it's a big church, so it would have been a while.
Yeah.
The photographer also mic'd us up, which we forgot a couple of times, and I'd look over and the photographer just giggling to himself, and he'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like.
So we'll see how much of that's on your wedding video.
Yeah.
A few months from now.
I'm excited.
Too.
Let's see. So yeah, even though it was the collective weddings, I honestly felt like it was just us two. Like it was so intimate still.
When you had all the people, it wasn't like the crowds were mixed either in the pews. We were right behind you guys, so we were watching you directly, and it wasn't like we had to like look over other people to see you guys.
Yeah, like everyone was like, the church was divided, and like you said, all of our people were excuse me, on my side, and I don't know, like I felt like the church was just for us.
Mm-hmm.
The way the father was talking, I felt like he was talking just to us.
Yeah, we were talking about the father, like he was really nice and
Really well spoken, and
he enunciated so well that I understood some of the ceremony, which was great.
yeah, just talked about how like, you know, relationships are like a roller coaster. Like, you know, think about the excitement of getting to the peak, and then
Yeah.
once you get to the peak, what happens? You can
Yeah.
come down.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be up, down. It's
Mhm.
going to be a mixture of both.
Mhm.
And that's just what life is. Like, you're not always going to be happy. You're not always going to be sad. But it's like how you go about it with your partner and with God.
Mhm.
And, you know, he was saying a lot of like, the very first thing he said, I remember, was when God gave his only son, what did he do? He sacrificed himself. That's love. Sacrifice is love. Love is sacrifice.
Mhm.
And I was kind of like, yeah.
And when I heard him talking about this, I'm like, ooh, this is important. And I recorded the whole thing on your phone.
You did?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Yeah, there's a part where he's like, what is love? I could tell he was saying,
Yeah,
what is
like,
love?
what
And he
is
said that
love?
multiple times. I'm like, I should record this.
I
part.
literally mouthed the word sacrifice, but I didn't say it loud enough because I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if he was actually asking us or
Yeah.
just like making us think. And I was like, sacrifice.
Yeah.
And he said it, and I was like, good for me. But yeah, no, it was a really good ceremony. Like I said, it felt like it was just us two. I didn't lose my shit until we were walking out of the altar, which, I mean, after everyone had left, it was just like me and Jose and like our parents, I think. I like released everything, and I was like, this is a long time coming. Like,
Yeah.
we're finally here. Like,
Yeah.
we did it.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just so happy for us.
Mhm. And you guys have had such a good year leading up to it too.
Yeah.
That's another important thing. It wasn't like we finally made it here, like scratching and crawling, and it was such a good year leading up to it. And I think that was really important.
You know, my cousins were like, we were having a bet to see if it was a shotgun wedding. I was like, boy, we've been together for 10 years. We would not get married just for that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But he was just kidding, though. I was kind of like, no.
Talking about Jacob?
No, it was on my dad's side.
Oh.
Let's see. My dad crying before leaving church. Wow, I really like have everything here.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the church, my grandparents on my mom's side were unable to attend the church. They're a little bit immobile, so it was kind of really just difficult for them to come. So I had the photographer follow me and take pictures of us together at their house. I have never seen my grandparents emotional like this. Like, never, ever. I expected it from my grandma because, I mean, we're women, we're emotional. But even then, she was just sobbing, like, just so proud of us and like so happy for us. And like, she's like, you look so beautiful. Like, Jose looks so handsome. And then I got to my grandpa, and like, he literally got choked up. Like, it took like 2 minutes for him to like gather himself.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's just so nice to like hear them say that they're happy for us. And I mean, think of it what you want. Like, marriage means something different to everybody. And I understand that. Like, my definition of marriage is not going to be the same. My reason for getting married is not going to be the same for everybody else. But for us, it really did feel like an accomplishment. It's something that we both really wanted, something that I really needed. And of course, for our grandparents who are raised like that, like, they were just happy that we
they've
made
been
that
married
decision.
for many years. And for the patriarch and matriarch of your family to be like so proud of you.
Yeah.
When your parents barely told you that they were proud of you in your life.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a big moment.
Yeah, it was a big moment. And it wasn't just like, okay, let's go to the church and get married. Like, no, like, we had to do like questionnaires. We had to do like therapy talks with the father. We had to do a retreat for like, and talk about these really tough conversations.
I feel like you guys really needed that too. Like,
we did.
I remember when you guys first started the process, I was like, you guys need to like work through a couple of things leading up to the wedding. Nothing that wasn't doable before the wedding. But I remember when you told me that you guys were having like couples counseling through the church. I'm like, good. Like, free counseling, good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was really good. And I mean, we had individual talks. We had talks that were together. We were forced to have a lot of conversations and answer hard questions together. And I mean, yeah, of course, like you kind of need to know where your headspace is at and what your thinking on it is, if it even matches, or you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like a lot of people should do that before
And some
having
people don't.
kids.
Some people don't at all.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for all that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was important to me, so it was gonna happen anyway.
Right. It's an added bonus.
Yeah.
Having counseling.
Do you want to take another break?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I'm not even like to the party
I
yet.
know. All right, take a break. Be right back.
Pimple in my.
Oh really? I have a knot right here.
Hey, it's not a contest, all right? Not my fault. Your kid hits you.
He's abusive. My child, not my husband.
To clarify. So yeah, so afterwards we went to Eagle Creek and took some beautiful pictures.
Yep. Went to Lily Lake.
Yes, Lily Lake. There were some people there that were cheering us on.
Yep. There was people at the picnic
Oh my
table.
God.
They were fishing, and we like totally took over their picnic table.
Took over their table. I feel so
That
bad.
was like the only shade under this tree, and we had babies with us. Like they totally didn't mind.
Yeah, they didn't mind. Like I apologize. I think multiple people apologized, and they're like,
Yeah.
"It's okay. Like no worries." I feel like had I picked up a little bit of uncomfortability, like is that a word? Uncomfortability?
I don't know.
Whatever. Then we would have moved, but I mean
Yeah.
it was fine. Kelsey officiated, but technically we were already married, but she well, you talk about it.
Well, so because we found out a couple days before the wedding that at church you guys weren't going to be able to do your own individual vows. It was going to be like through the group was going to be doing it. I was like, well, no, it was like the day before.
It was the day before.
Yeah.
It was the night before.
No, because I was at work.
2 nights before.
I was at work when you told us about it.
She texted me like at 10 something at night, and then the next day I called her. But I will say it didn't turn out that way. We each got our own individual time.
Well, and what you got individually was declarations, which is different than vows. So declarations is the do you take this person? I do. Do you take this person? I do. And all the other things that go with it. Vows would be like you professing your love in your own words, or the officiant saying repeat after me, and those are professing words or whatever. So I was like, well, since you're not going to get to do your own individual, like maybe while we're at Eagle Creek, it'll be really beautiful. We'll have the photographer. It'll be all your like closest people with you. Like, let's do like a little ceremony. And of course, Jose at first was like, no, because he didn't want to. He was
like, sure.
He says he didn't want to do a speech, but then after it, he gave a speech.
My God. My dude.
So anyway,
he talks a lot, right?
Well, we said he didn't talk a lot. He just said the same thing.
Oh, yeah, he kept repeating himself.
He kept repeating himself
in different ways,
and like taking long pauses, which because I don't think he really planned to say anything. So anyway, I was supposed to send you what I came up with, and you never looked at it. You're like, whatever you want to do, it's fine.
I was like, I don't care anymore. That was a lot of my night. Whatever. Okay.
Yep. Whatever.
Sure.
I trust you. Yep. And if you didn't know, I am actually an officiant. Like I can marry people and sign their marriage certificate. But of course, they were already married by the church, so I didn't have to do any of that. But I have done weddings before, which is why I was comfortable doing this, especially for them, like of all people. I've done this for strangers. I can do it for Angelica and Jose in front of like 30 people.
Yeah.
So we get there and we just jump right into pictures, and I'm like, the ceremony at the church went so well. I didn't know if you would still want to do the vows. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to bring it up. Like if she doesn't want to do it. And then
someone else brought it up. I almost forgot though.
I brought it up eventually. And you're like, why didn't you
like, oh my God, yes.
And you'd already taken your shoes off. You're like, put my shoes back on. We're doing this. Yeah. We were like done with pictures by then.
Yeah.
It was at the end, which I think was better that we did at the end.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I think
it seemed like the right moment.
There was no rush to, all right, hurry up. Let's get some pictures. Yeah.
It seemed like the right moment. So yeah, I officiated, and I remembered that Jose didn't want to be doing any long speeches. I think it like, and a lot of grooms have this like worry.
Well, he just didn't want to profess his love in front of people. He's not PDA. He's not lovey-dovey.
I really don't think that's it. No? I think because he was very lovey-dovey with you while we were doing the thing. While we were doing the thing. He was very lovey-dovey with you. I think, and a lot of grooms have this fear that if they have to repeat after me, they're going to mess it up, and everybody's going to laugh, and it's going to be really like embarrassing.
Yeah.
And so like I think he didn't want to do that. And that's
Maybe.
what he meant by he didn't want to like make a speech.
Mm.
And so I basically did more declarations where I'm like, do you plan to do all this for Angelica? I do. Do you plan to do this? I do. Do you plan to do this? And then the same things for you. And, you know, normally it's very dry, like, I do. But he was like, I do. Like, he was all like giving you eyes, and like, I was like, and I had stopped at someone. I was like, stop, you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah. And he was like, well, you told me to repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you don't know is the part at the end before I declared you guys husband and wife, where I said, I, for one, have all the confidence that you guys can make it through everything and do what, you know, whatever. And I said, do you guys agree? And everybody was like, yeah.
Someone yelled out no.
Yeah.
I think it was Jacob.
No, it was, who was Gothi supposed to be paired with?
Felipe.
Just Felipe, because he joked about it when I told everybody at the church that I was going to do that. So before you'd walk down the aisle, I turned around to everybody. I'm like, we're going to do vows at Eagle Creek. There's a part at the end where I say, I have all the confidence in you guys. When I ask, do you guys, I want you guys to yell at the top of your lungs. And they did. But
he was like, no.
Felipe
You
joked
can
about
hear it
saying
in the
no.
video, and I'm like, bruh.
Kind of ruined that. Thanks, Felipe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I almost made a joke at one of the vows. I was like, now's not the time. Shut the fuck up. Now's not the time. You're going to ruin it.
You could have. It wasn't your actual ceremony.
I know, but like, I didn't want to ruin it.
It was a
like,
good moment, though.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't quite the moment. So, and then I was sure to, and I've learned this after
this
doing
is the
weddings.
thing that I don't know.
No, the thing you didn't know was that I told everybody to yell.
No wonder everyone was like on it. And I was like, oh shit.
I thought it would like make you guys laugh if everybody was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So
fuck
yeah. One thing that I learned when doing weddings and stuff is when you declare them husband and wife, you step away so that you're not in the photo of them kissing. So I was like, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride, and I quickly walked away.
Oh my god, that reminds me. At the church, we were all up in the altar before we did anything, before we did any of the rituals. Someone just started yelling out, "Kiss, kiss, kiss!" at the church.
Yeah,
and so I'm like,
should we kiss? Should we do it?
I'm looking at the priest, like, is this okay? And he literally goes.
And then you guys kissed 3 times in a row.
3 times, and I was like, "Is this okay?
Yeah.
Like, can I do this?"
Yeah, it was cute though.
Yeah, I grabbed Jose's face and like, yeah.
And then he did the same thing back to you.
Yeah,
it was cute. I got it all on video.
Well, I was just so confused. I'm like, "Is this a test?"
I got it on video on your phone. Did you know that?
I haven't seen anything of it.
That was one of the good parts I got.
Oh man, okay.
You have to go back and look. Yeah,
okay.
Maybe you could post it.
It's just so precious to me. Like, I just want to like be surprised at everything. It was such a great day.
Yeah.
And then also at Eagle Creek, after Jose made his long ass speech.
Oh yeah, so I step away. They kiss.
Yeah.
I step away, and then Jose starts like just randomly giving a speech. I'm like, get my phone out really quick. I like miss the beginning of it, and I start recording. And then he starts tearing up, and I'm like crying behind the camera. And then you start tearing up, and then you're giving your speech, and you're tearing up.
Well, I'm just not a speech person.
I also sent that to you. That I got all that on video.
Nice.
And then your mom gave a speech.
Girl. I'm
like, Dad, we're supposed to save this for the reception.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck my mom was on. I don't know if she just got nervous or something. She literally said something along the lines of like, I remember 2 years ago, my daughter came to me and told me she was tired of fighting for this relationship. She wanted
like, 2
out.
years?
I was like, Mom, 2 years ago we were good.
Yeah.
We were good.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking more like 4 years ago. And
Yeah.
she was like, are you sure it was like 2 years? I was like, Mama, stop. She was like, no, 2 years ago you told me you were done. And I said, daughter, if you're done, then be done. But basically what she was trying to get at was that like we went through some hard shit, yes, but like we came back together and we like pushed through it.
Yeah.
And like worked hard to get to where we are. But I'm like, you don't have to say all that. You could just been like, y'all have went through a lot. You guys are here today. It has not been easy, but it has been worth it seeing you two. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, why is she saying that?
Right.
Oh my God, my mom, I love her.
She's not one with the words.
Jesus what's his name?
H.
Wait.
Isn't it? Or no, it's like Harold or something.
What?
Yeah. It's like Jesus, Harold, Christ.
I mean, yeah, I was up since 5. The party ended at 2 a.m. So that's 21 hours. And then we went and got tacos afterwards and came back home and
opened all your presents.
Opened all our presents and money. And we didn't go to sleep till 6:30. So I was up for a full 25 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy. But very fitting for your wedding day.
Yeah. All right. My biggest regret.
Okay.
Is that I wasted time worrying if everyone else was having a good time.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that. I feel like everybody's mad at me. I'm having a good time.
I thought everyone was mad at me. I thought people were bored. Like, we were already an hour and a half behind. Mm-hmm. We still had to do all the traditional dances. I thought people were going to get bored. Mm-hmm. I wanted to skip them. My mom was like, no, like, they're tradition. You have to do them. And I mean, thankfully we didn't skip
once
them.
We got into them, remember I told you, I'm like, once you start doing them, like, people are going to be really entertained.
Yeah, like, once we include them, then...
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. People were
exactly
loving
what happened.
Yeah.
But, like, I wasted so much time being like, oh my God, like, is everyone having a good time?
Yeah.
Is everyone happy to be here? Yeah. Like, do they not hate me?
You did. You started crying, and I'm like, girl, stop. Everybody's fine.
I couldn't get out of my head. Like, I was just like, people don't want to be here. Like, they want to go home. Like,
no.
I just got so self-conscious and I wasted hours just worrying about everyone else. And then we finally got to eat at like 8:30. And I remember being so hungry, but so nauseous at the same time. Yeah. I couldn't really eat. I was just picking at it. We bought kegs of beer. And so what happened was, I don't know what happened there, but the barrels had been moved so much that only foam was coming out. So they only got like a total of like maybe 10 cups.
Damn.
Yeah. And we bought 2 kegs. So that was enough to feed like
money wasted.
Well, thankfully they returned their money.
Oh.
Yeah. But because of that, our groomsmen or our maid of honor and our best man had to run out and get beer 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah. And so we were only had capacity, or like not capacity, but we had capacity for more people. But we only were thinking less than 220 people. At one point, there was more than 300 people there. We had to go get more tables and chairs and food, which was like something else to be worried about. So first it was like, okay, we're an hour and a half behind. Everyone hates me. No one's having a good time. The barrels aren't working. We need more seating. Like all these things.
What's funny is like you naming all these things, like I was aware of all these things happening and like these worries. And then when people ask me like the first day at work, like, oh, how'd the wedding go? I was like, it was absolutely great.
About that.
I was like, nothing went wrong. Like literally. And I'm sure that's how other people feel too.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, like they came back very quickly with the beer. So I'm hoping that no one like really thought anything, or like, yeah, if you didn't get beer, maybe you only waited like 5-10 minutes and then there was beer available.
Yeah.
And we got people seated right away. Like as soon as we saw that people like we were running out of seats, we immediately ordered more tables and they came within like 15 minutes, I think. So it wasn't like huge worries. But at the time, it was like, oh my God.
It was just a lot of little things at once.
Yeah, at once. Yeah. And then, so more speeches came. Of course, Kelsey's was the best. And it was beautiful. She had it translated so everyone could understand. Got the translated. And then Jacob came in and gave a speech.
Do you think he was drunk?
Yeah, he was drunk.
Okay. Somebody else had said that.
I honest to God thought he was going to propose to his girlfriend, Ruth.
Oh my God. I worried about that too.
Because he was saying like, you know, I've seen you guys grow up and like get closer together and become who you are today.
And that's what I want to do with Ruth.
And that's what I want to do with Ruth. And I'm like,
is this about Ruth or is this about us?
Which, honest to God, if he or anybody would have asked me like, hey, I really want to propose to my girlfriend at your wedding.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bro, can you find your own time? But whatever. Like, if that's what you want to do.
It's not the worst thing that could have
happened. It's not the worst thing. Yeah. You have my blessing, whatever. But if he was going to do it without anyone knowing.
And in the middle of speeches.
I literally thought he was going to propose to her. I was like, oh.
I remember looking at your face while he was talking and you're like.
I was like.
What else?
Oh, and someone
he said, dating my cousins. He said cousin, like plural. Yeah. And you're like, more than one cousin? Like.
And he like talked about how when we were little, we got into an argument or something, and I don't remember hitting him with the broom, but I remember us fighting over a broom because we were gonna hit each other. And he claims that I like beat the shit out of him, and I grabbed the mic and I was like, I'll do it again. Yeah, and then Chris, Jose's brother, gave a speech, and I think he was a little tipsy too. And like all these people in their speeches, except for you, I'm just like, could we have found a better way to say this?
Right.
Because
I wrote my speech.
He was like, I remember you guys used to fight a lot, and that was in the middle of your guys' arguments. And I'm like,
this is not the time to say that.
Why are you saying this?
Yeah.
Why can't you just be like, I've been there through the ups and the downs, and I'm so glad you guys have chosen each other. I don't know.
Should I read my speech on the pod?
That's pretty long.
It only seemed long because it was translated.
Go ahead.
Okay. Just to show the difference in the way that Jacob and David
and then
Chris.
My mom tried to give another speech and she got nervous, thank God.
She was like, thank you all for coming, and
I got nervous, so I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah.
But she was basically trying to say, like, I mean, if you know Jose and I, we've been through a lot.
Yeah, so
we were kids.
What I was telling Angelica was that I felt it was important to have my speech translated because I said things about the integrity of their relationship that I feel like I had a front row seat to, that I felt like everybody should be able to hear. Where the fuck is it?
I have 2 more things and then I'm done.
Okay.
I made glasses. I made glasses for everyone to wear. And then I wanted to take a video compilation of the pictures.
Not do that.
Did not happen, which is fine.
Totally forgot about that.
Totally forgot about it. It's okay. And then no one took centerpieces home.
Oh, yeah.
And remember I told you, like, I had asked my coworkers about it, and they were like, no, we don't.
Do you still have some?
Oh, yeah, I have all of them.
I'll take one. Okay. So I said, hi, my name is Kelsey. If you don't know who I am, I was the coolest white girl at all the family gatherings, and that's because the Figueroa family has always let me hang out at their house every weekend when we were kids. I've known Angelica and her sister Maria for over 20 years now. We grew up together and watched each other grow up, and in some ways we molded each other. I want to thank the Figueroa family for always being so welcoming to me and treating me like their own family. And for that reason, this wedding is more than just watching my best friend get married. This wedding is like watching a sister get married. And I remember looking over at you and you're like, oh!
Oh my God.
I was like, that was the part right there. I'm so proud of both of you guys, everything that you've accomplished this year. And in the past couple of years, you have accomplished so much. Can you guys believe in this year alone, you bought a house and now you're freaking married? You guys are husband and wife. Can you believe it?
Everyone cheered there.
Yeah. I think many of us know that this road has been a long one for these two, but I think that makes this moment that much sweeter. That's how you say that in a speech. Not, you guys used to argue and I was in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
Since I have had a front row seat lately to how awesome you guys have been, I want to paint a picture for everyone else. You guys are the kind of couple who never say no to someone wanting to come over and hang out. You always open your home to people, and you always show up for people when they need you. I can tell that Jose, like myself, enjoys feeding his people and hosting gatherings. You can see the bliss on his face when he has his friends and his family near him. It's very admirable, and he's good at gossiping too, which we proved earlier today. I remember looking over at him when I said that, and he was like, yeah, I was like, babe, come on, bud,
babe. I think he brought it up later on. I'm like, babe.
Like, between the 3 of us alone.
Come on.
I said, and Angelica, she's one of the kindest people I know on this planet. She always wants good for other people. She always wants to see the people she loves thrive. A true picture of an altruistic human. You've also always been one of the coolest and prettiest people I know. I remember looking over at you and you were starting to cry in there.
I was like, oh my God, okay.
And with those two together, I couldn't think of a better power couple. Today might feel like the finish line, but it's not. Today's the starting line. You guys have a whole new journey ahead of you filled with good and bad. But I won't leave you with any cliche advice like never go to bed angry, because that will happen. What I will say is make sure to consciously love and enjoy each other as much as you can. Put daily effort into understanding each other, be each other's person, and remain best friends throughout your marriage. Before I go on, that part I feel like I had already been telling you guys before. I'm like, you guys need to understand each other. Like, put the effort into understanding each other. Especially, like, I felt like before the wedding, before you guys went to counseling, I'm like, I don't feel like Jose understands you. Like, he needs to understand you on a deeper level before you guys get married. And I think he has. I am so proud to have been able to watch you guys become the best version of yourselves for each other. I hope to see you guys continue to flourish into a loving and successful life together. Congratulations.
Isn't that beautiful?
I'm a speechwriter. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's not to say like Jose.
I had Siri read that back to me multiple times because I was like, I need to hear someone else say it.
Yeah. I was gonna say Jose and I aren't perfect by any means. Like we're not. Like we have so much more to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I know I chose the right person. Like
I think that's
I'm so confident.
That's the picture of a good couple, is that if you can say we're not perfect. If you pretend to be perfect, then you know that's not. Like,
fuck no.
Yeah.
And like when we were in Nashville, I think I told you Gabby asked the question of, you know,
how do you know?
How do you know? Mm-hmm. Why are you getting married? Like, how do you know he's the one? Like, how do you know you want to get married to this guy? Like, she didn't really like understand. I don't know if it's because
how you came upon this decision.
Yeah, like because I was so sure because we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, how can you be so sure? Like, how can anyone be so sure when it comes to this decision? And you know, I gave her a really long answer, but basically it goes back to like just choosing each other and choosing to work together and communicating, putting each other first and understanding each other. I mean, not to sound cliche, but like that really is it.
I think that like when you say it like that, people like glaze over it, right?
Yeah. Because that's why I stopped, because I was like, not to like sound like a broken record,
and
but
I was trying really hard not to sound cliche in my toast, but it truly is what you need to understand each other, to put in the effort every day.
Like you said, be best friends.
Be best friends, yep.
And you know,
I think you and Jose are best friends.
If you're like new to the podcast, or you know, maybe you don't know much about our relationship. I mean, we broke up for like over a year.
I did too.
You know, we got together when we were literal in high school, like kids. Like to us, this was not a long-term thing. It was literally like, oh, you're cute. Like I have the time. Let's get together. Like let's date or whatever. Like it wasn't anything serious, at least not in the beginning. And I don't know, like you graduate high school, real life starts to happen, and you kind of, I don't know, like become petty and immature and stupid, and you make dumb decisions.
Well, and when you're an adult, like especially when you're first becoming an adult, you feel like you know everything. You feel like you know exactly what you want out of life. You feel like you know how life is going to be.
Yeah.
You feel like you know how to handle everything, and you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't know that stuff until you're like closer to 30.
Yeah. And
we talk about that a lot with like situations happening with other people. When we're trying to like make sense of it, we're like, okay, well, they're still in their early 20s. Like they're still figuring things out.
Yeah.
They don't understand how to like be close to people, or like how to, you know, do life the way that we understand how to do life. It's very different early 20s to late 20s.
For sure. I mean, we were together, but having different lives almost, different mindsets. And it just got to a point where we just argued all the time over the dumbest shit. And we weren't the kind of couple that like, I don't know, whether it was him or I, like we just wouldn't let it go. We couldn't let it go. It was constantly bringing up the past. It was constantly bringing up, oh, you did this to me 2 years ago and I'm still hurt about it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just stuff like that. And
like a lot of revenge.
And just being like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just
like insecurities.
And so much insecurity and jealousy and just.
Well, and then that's when you guys had broken up. Over that time, you would learn more about yourselves, about what you really wanted out of life. And when you guys got back together, you decided to put the insecurities aside. We have to be in this and actually be in this for the long haul.
Yeah, like literally being apart, you'll know, okay, like, do I want to be with that person or not? And, you know, I remember when we first got back together, we would argue so much even then because, you know, things had happened in that last year that we weren't together. More insecurities came up, or old insecurities came up. And, you know, my best friend Jess, she said like, she's like, you got back with him, so that means you have to let go of the past. You either forgive him and move on, or you break up and you don't.
Right. we talked about that in the toxic relationships episode.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
If you decide to stay with him, you cannot keep bringing up the past. It's not going to work.
And the same for him.
Yeah, and she like really like shook that into me that I'm like, you're right. Like I need to let go. And
it's more than just not bringing it up with him. It's not bringing it up with yourself. Like letting that go, letting it go for yourself before just letting it go.
You can't expect someone to change if you're constantly bringing up the past. If you're not even allowing them to be better or to improve, if you're constantly throwing shit back in their face.
Right.
And that was so hard for me not to do because I kept thinking of the old you and not even trying to see the new you when I had even decided to give you another chance. So it's like I was contradicting myself.
Battling yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and so that took a long time to overcome that. And then it's just a lot of growth and choosing each other and just wanting it to work out.
And here we are. The Cabreras. All right, let's take a break, and then I've got some Q&As for you, and then that'll be our wedding recap episode. Okay. Q&A. All right. What was the scariest moment of the day?
Of my wedding day? Scariest moment?
Yeah. I don't have any intentions for these.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just supposed to answer them.
This is the next day.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with my wedding though.
Oh.
But it was after the wedding.
Okay, go ahead and say it, whatever it was.
Because I don't really have any scary moments.
I can think of a moment that was scary. When you had a panic attack before you walked into
the
reception, I had to come out there and comfort you.
Oh yeah, I was like, guys, I'm really gonna puke. Like I'm gonna barf.
Well,
like,
she texted us and was like, I need help. And
we
thought you just needed help with your shoes.
I did, but then it turned into you
really needed like emotional help.
Yeah, I was hyperventilating. I was crying.
Yeah.
I think I was just nervous. Like everyone, which there wasn't even that many people there.
That's what I told you, and that's what calmed you down.
Yeah.
You're like, there's so many people. I'm like, there's a third of the people that are supposed to
be
here.
I was expecting the full 200 people right then and there.
It was like maybe 75 people there.
Yeah, because it was at 6 o'clock. A lot of people didn't show up till like 8-ish. Yeah. And so
Mexican wedding.
I was just so nervous, like, but yeah, once I was in, I saw there wasn't that many people. At first, I was kind of like, oh.
No, I think, like, literally you had a panic attack. But it was, like, 30 seconds long. Like, you're sitting in the truck. You were done by the time we got your shoes on.
Oh, because I knew I had to get my shit together.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
and then we walk up, and we're standing outside waiting to go in. And you're, like, directing people.
Yeah, and then I get giddy, and I'm like, okay, show. Like, let's get this going.
But was that the only moment that you were, like, freaking out?
Actually, yeah, now that you bring that up, yeah, that was pretty scary. I'm not gonna like, I really thought I was gonna puke.
Yeah.
I really had a moment of like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know, like, let's just scratch it and let's just.
Yeah, and you had spent time on this entry.
Let's just discreetly walk in. Yeah, no, I mean,
like, oh hi, I didn't know you guys were here.
No, I think once, like the mariachi was outside talking to us, like, hey, what song do you want to go into? And once I heard the intro song, I started being like, okay, this is what I wanted. Like, let's do this. Like, but that I was pretty scared. And I think Jose was like, what are you scared? Like, what are you worried about? And I'm like, it's like a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and sometimes you can't pinpoint it. It's just scared.
Yeah, it just like hit me all at once.
Yeah.
And
that was like the moment you think that you'd be scared of, like before you walked down the aisle, but it was before you walked into your reception.
I was disassociating hard. Like,
that protected you apparently.
Yeah. Until the reception. That's funny.
Okay.
I was gonna say that after the reception, we went and got tacos, and there was this lady accusing people of having her phone. Like, her boyfriend came and ordered and left his phone, and she was accusing people of taking his, like, literally, I think you have my phone. And at one point, I didn't hear her say this. Mariano and Jose did. She said, someone's trying to die tonight. And they were like, they told me and Jess, like, okay, let's go to your cars and just wait there. And like, she was just causing a scene. And there was like, there was a fight like across the street. And damn. I was like, oh, taco trucks at 2 a.m. Yeah, literally. I was like, get me out of here.
Okay. Top 3 best moments. Did you ask Jose for his?
Huh?
Did you ask Jose for his?
Oh, was I supposed to?
Remember, I told you on the phone the other day. It's okay.
Did I? I don't think I did.
We can call him in here. Lifeline. He won't be able. He's drunk right now. He's like, be able to think of it.
Even funnier.
Get your phone close to the mic so it can hear.
Don't embarrass me like this.
You think he's asleep? Surely he's still out there.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought I heard him.
Rejected by the hubby.
Let's try one more time.
Luna, ¿qué pasa? Wow, man,
You didn't say it right.
Hello,
That's Omar. That's Alex.
it's Alex.
I know.
It's Alex. How did you know?
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
What were your 3 favorite parts about the wedding?
The ceremony, the snake dance, and the food.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay, let's ask Jose that question.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker then.
Okay.
All right. Here you go. Ask it.
Baby,
Oh my god.
Yo,
what were your 3 favorite moments of the wedding?
The snake dance, dancing with my mom, and yeah, the what's it called?
The tongue dance.
The tongue where you were like
Oh, the garter.
The
Garter
tongue
removal?
dance.
The tongue dance.
With the
tongue dance. Yeah, Angelica, that's right. Yeah, the tongue
where you was like
dance.
using the
Do
fucking
not
broom.
bother my friend like that. She's trying to communicate with her now husband.
Also, are you guys okay with being on the podcast? Because we're recording this.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
Right.
I need to speak to my agent to make sure that I have a.
Have your people talk to her people.
Jose's already signed a contract.
Right now and have it work.
And you have until Tuesday to get me your people,
What's it called?
or else we go live.
The garter dance.
That's what I said.
Okay, bye.
Later spots.
50 seconds later.
Oh my gosh.
Mine is take the process.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
Cool. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
In case you didn't know, Jose's in the garage with the neighbors getting drunk. So
Yeah.
that's what that whole situation was. But it was good though. That was good for the pod.
Okay, so I'll try to pick a variety of things, not just the party. My favorite part in the party was the Mandilon songs. So
Mhm.
when I was behind him, whipping him with the belt.
Yeah, so there's a traditional dance that they do where Jose wears an apron, carries a baby doll, and sweeps the floor. And Angelica has on a cowboy hat, is holding a bottle of tequila, and has a belt, and she's whipping Jose.
Like, love that.
And everybody got a really big kick out of that.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like
good.
switching stereotypical rules.
Rolls.
Gender roles. That's what I said.
That's how you said rules.
Roles.
Rolls.
Roll.
Rolls.
A roll.
Okay, what's your next one?
Probably seeing my grandparents so emotional and proud.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah, and then, probably when it was like 1:45-ish, we were like the only ones on the dance floor, just Jose and I and the DJ. And my dad's just there on a chair next to us, just recording the whole time we were dancing.
Aww.
Jose says that he was crying. I didn't see that part, but my dad was just there recording, and it was just so beautiful. Like my dad
That's
could
so beautiful.
they didn't catch that. It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
My dad could be doing anything else, but he did. Oh my god, I see that video that's like that when they talk like that.
It's so
Oh
beautiful.
my god, I'm about to find it. Like my dad could have been doing anything else, but like
He's just sitting there
he was
recording.
there like capturing the moment. It's just so nice. Yeah, those are probably my 3 favorite
Okay, I'm
ones.
gonna give you my top 3. I didn't plan to do this, but I'm gonna give you my top 3.
Okay, give it to me.
So number 1 is, of course, the ceremony was great. So I'm not gonna say anything from the ceremony.
Yeah.
But, the speech that Jose gave after we did your
Eagle Creek?
at Eagle Creek, yeah, I think it was very impromptu and things that he wanted to say to your friends and family, and like just being thankful for everyone to like accept him back as like someone important in your life. So that was 1.
Which he did say that multiple times, and even the next day, like, wow, like your family really accepts me. I'm like,
Mhm.
of course, like.
The second one was your guys' first dance, which we haven't even talked about, which was to Perfect
Oh yeah,
by Ed Sheeran and Beyonce.
perfect duet. Yeah.
Which
I love that song.
I cried while they were dancing. Angelica cried during a part of their dance, which kind of made me cry, which is why I started crying. But that was so pretty, and just the moment was exactly what you expected it to be. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen any full videos. Like everyone cuts off the video right before we do a turn, and I'm like, I want to see what the turns look like.
Maybe the photographer will have a full video. And then the last one I'll say is when me and Travis were leaving the reception. I came up to Angelica and Jose and hugged them and said, okay, well, we're leaving. And I hugged you guys. And when I hugged Jose, he said to me in my ear, because there was music playing, so he had to like say it in my ear. Angelica didn't hear it. And he said, thanks for taking me back in, which I think was so sweet. And then I was like, I like did one of those to him. And you were like, what did he say? Oh. But I think that was really sweet because I'm definitely the friend that's like, I'm going to tell you if I don't agree with your relationship, or like I fear for you, or like worry about you. And one thing that I've realized recently is that like I don't worry about you anymore, which is.
You're about to cry? Oh my God, Kelsey, no! Aw, girl. Oh my God.
Like, if you know me at all, like, I worry about my friends all the time. And you used to be someone that I used to have to worry about a lot. But I don't worry about you anymore. Like, you're good. Except for a few times where you're freaking out about something that's not really that big a deal, and then I have to bring you down.
I'm telling you, I call her about everything.
But that's easy stuff, you know, like, the bigger stuff has always been like, I can't tell you exactly what to do here, but, you know. But the point is, like, I've always been that person that's like, I'll tell you if I don't agree with your relationship. And leading up to the wedding, I've been like, I'm not worried about this anymore. Like, you guys got this. And so that was why it was like really important to me to do a speech, and for Jose and I to have the moments that we did during your day. That was really important to me too.
Oh, Kelsey, stop! This is such a happy time. Sorry, I'm laughing. I'll cheer you up if I don't
I'm laughing too now.
Oh, I love that because I mean I know you worried about me a lot, and I'm glad you don't have to worry about me anymore. I remember when we were preparing for the wedding, I remember telling my mom, like, you don't have to worry about me anymore.
Yeah,
like, I'm good.
Yeah,
like Jose and I are in such a good place. And I mean, I know that may not last forever. We'll have our moments, but like, same
but
thing
your
for
foundation
her.
is good, and that's the part I don't worry about anymore, is that you guys have a good foundation. Okay, I have more questions.
Well, I think it's really beautiful too because, you know, in the beginning when Jose and I first got back together, and it would be like, well, Angelica can come, but Jose can't come, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
and Jose.
Well, and you would say, like, I understand, like, this is still
so
very early.
Patient.
I understand if you guys don't want Jose to come yet. And we're like, okay, well, we're not comfortable with that yet. Maybe next time. Yeah. Like, because there was a lot of hurt at the end.
Yeah. I don't remember me ever asking, is it okay if Jose comes? I always waited till you guys were like, hey, Jose can come. Like, it's okay if he comes, or if, you know, if you're okay with Jose coming. And I remember when those dates finally came, I was like, oh, we're getting there. Like, it's finally coming. And
I didn't really realize, like, how important that was to Jose until on wedding day.
That's exactly what I was going to say. In the beginning, because Jose's kind of like, well, I'm going to tell you that I don't care about it, so you don't see how truly hurt I am.
Right.
So in the beginning, he would tell me, well, I don't care if your family accepts me or not. I don't care if your friends accept me.
That's why I'm so thankful that he was willing to be vulnerable on his wedding day. Of all days, like, show us your vulnerability, because that's what's going to make us fall in love with you even more and want you to be with Angelica even more. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he told me like the next day, like, wow, like people are really accepting. I'm like, yeah, like they should. If they don't, tell me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like that's what I told my mom too. Like, you don't have to worry about me anymore. Yeah. Like, I'm good. You don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm good.
I'm glad. I told Travis that, and I told I was gonna put that in my speech, but I was worried that was gonna happen, so I didn't. But I didn't put it in the speech. And then when I had a long talk with Maria earlier this week, I told her that too. I was like, you know, I would love to get to a point where I don't have to worry about any of you guys anymore. But like Angelica's wedding day, like truly was like, I don't gotta worry about that girl no more. Okay, I have a funny question to follow this one up.
Okay, please.
So, when I got here and Angelica was getting dressed, we got her dress on, we got her shoes on, we're packing her bag, and she goes, "Oh my God, guys, what if I have to poop?" And we're like, "Well, guess we'll all be standing around you holding your dress." And so I have this question for you. Did you ever have to poop?
No!
Did you ever have to go to the bathroom at all?
No!
Not even, like, did you guys come home in between the...
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Did you have to pee then? At least pee? I just assumed, because I never saw you go to the bathroom, I assumed that when you guys came home, you like took off your dress and used the bathroom and then put your dress back on.
I know I peed. I'm not sure if I pooped because I really hadn't eaten anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I did poop. I know I peed. But yeah, no,
when I was thinking back on it, I'm like, no, she never asked us to help her. And I was like,
I never even went to the
bathroom.
bathroom.
To think of it, you never even went to the bathroom. You don't even know what the bathrooms look like.
I told Jess that later. I was like, I never used the bathroom. And I didn't even need to use, like, I never felt the need, not even at, like, super late at night. No.
And then I was thinking back to my wedding. Like, do I remember having to, like, hold my dress up to use the bathroom? And I don't remember using the bathroom for my wedding either.
Yeah. I was dehydrated, too, so I didn't really have to pee.
How did you feel about the garter removal? Because I knew you were, like, kind of nervous about it being weird. And I have thoughts, but I want to hear what you think.
First of all, I put the garter on before we left the house to the reception. And as we were dancing to the mariachi, it kept slipping off.
Mm-hmm. When she walked when she was being announced into the reception, she walked past me and goes, "My garter's slipping, so keep a lookout." And Maria's like, "What'd she say?"
In case it fell off on the dance floor, like, I didn't want to think it was my underwear. Like, I would need you to run and go get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kept, like, falling off. It didn't fall all the way. I think it, like, stayed, like, with my calf muscle. Calf muscle area. It never, like, went to the floor. And then after we were done dancing, I ended up just taking it off, and I just made a mental note to put it on before the dance. And then I must have blacked out and didn't realize when I put it back on, because when the garter dance started happening, I was like, oh shit, I don't even know if it's in there. So but right before he starts his dance, like, as soon as I hear the song go and he puts a chair for me, I, like, hurry up and look, and I'm like, okay, it's there.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
It was out of order. So had you said, like, let's skip it, and then they surprised you with it? Because I hadn't been looking at the itinerary.
No, first it was the garter. But didn't he do the snake dance or something first?
Yeah, it was after the when he had the apron on. It was after this.
Oh yeah. So it was out of order.
So when I was looking at the itinerary, I'm like, I wonder if she told him to skip it because it was supposed to have happened already. And then when he started playing Pony, you looked really surprised. So I was like So had you told him to skip it?
I think I did. I know I talked about skipping it. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember anymore.
Okay, so the next thing,
because we were an hour and a half behind, and I was like, oh shit, like.
So the next thing I wanted to bring up was when Pony started playing, and I looked over to Angelica, and she looked surprised. I was already standing, and I grabbed an empty chair and brought it up behind you. I was the one who sat you down. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't.
I literally, like, I was like butter with the chair, like swapped it around really quickly. I tapped your shoulder, and you, like, sat down, and then I just, like. And then, like,
I think that was Jose when he was right in front of me.
Yeah. And then Kendra came up and, like, grabbed the broom and the apron and the baby doll and, like, got that all that stuff out of the way. It was so funny that we just, like, jumped into action. But then I remember thinking, like,
Jose said he tossed the baby.
Probably did. I have a video of after you sat down, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But and I sent that video to you guys, but
that's so funny.
I remember thinking, like, oh, she was nervous about this because we thought it was going to be really awkward. But I don't think it was. Do you think it was?
No. I
was worried it was going to be cringy.
Yeah.
But it was not cringy at all.
I was like, babe, have you been practicing?
Yes. When he started dancing, I was like, where did he learn these moves? First of all, like, the fact that he was good at the dance moves he was doing made it not cringy.
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was trying too hard.
No,
and,
it like worked.
It worked very smoothly. And then when he like finally was trying to go under your dress and you like threw the dress over top.
I don't want anyone to see. I was like,
yeah, yeah. And I think that's what a lot of brides do. They like make sure the dress is completely over.
Yeah.
And he didn't like take too long or like try to play around. Like he just grabbed it and took it off. And I think it was very tasteful. Like I think,
oh my God,
I'm glad you guys did it.
There's like videos or pictures where people are literally standing up, like taking up videos. I was like, oh God, no.
I think it was very tasteful and it was not cringy at all. Like
good.
I would have like died at my own reception if that happened, but again, I would be worried that it would be cringy. And it was not cringy.
I think seeing videos of it, like the ones that you sent me, I didn't feel cringy watching it. So in the moment, I think I was surprised, but I think because there was like talks about skipping it. I'm glad we didn't though.
And now that I think about it, it going from the switching of the roles dance where you had the cowboy hat on and he had the apron on to like him putting you down in a chair and like going under your dress, that was very like
that did kind of work
fitting.
Huh? Yeah, because imagine if that was the first thing.
Yeah. I'm glad that it was after that. Well. Yeah. And maybe that's what the DJ intended.
Maybe. I mean, he does more weddings, obviously, than I do. Yeah. I just went based off of this article that I saw online of the order to do things. And so I just went off of that. I was like, okay.
Oh, and because of the dance before where you guys were switching roles, Jose was already in a tank top. He was like in his beater.
Yeah. It must have been the DJ thinking, no, this will be
the right moment.
Yeah.
I wonder if you ask Jose about that. I wonder if he knew that was about to happen.
Yeah, because he acted like
he knew, like, oh, it's time.
Like, oh fuck,
yeah,
yeah.
It was kind of cool that you like were surprised though. Like, I was like, I think if you knew it was coming, it would have been more like awkward.
Yeah. No, it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Okay, honorable mentions for the things that people wrote in the book. Did you read through that yet?
I did. I was a little disappointed. I was expecting the whole book to be full up.
I don't think a lot of people knew it was there.
No. There was a huge sign.
Yeah, I just think.
Yeah. It's okay. I don't really remember a whole lot of people that wrote in it. I know like Jess wrote in it. My godmother wrote in it.
Anybody write anything funny?
His little cousin whose birthday was that day or the next day or something like that. Her name's Atsidi. She wrote in there like, oh, today's my birthday and I'm so happy. Like I'm here celebrating with you guys. Something very cute and sweet.
Yeah.
And then she like comes back the next page and she is like, PSS, sorry, I'm just so excited. I can't believe you're married or something like that. That was really cute. And like she's only like 11, I think, maybe 12. But did you write in there? Shit.
I wrote what?
I think I do remember yours. Yours is on the left side, right? Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly what it was though.
It was just like congratulations, love you guys, or something like that. But then I wrote something funny in there and I didn't sign it my name.
Oh, they can be the arguments. They can. Yeah, I knew that was you. They can be tough, but they can't be long.
They can be. It can be hard, but it can't be long. Arguments.
Penises.
I almost didn't put arguments because I wanted you to question it. Like, why would somebody write this in the book and then me give you the answer later?
No, and
I was like, no, I'll just put arguments.
Well, my first initial thought was like, this was Monica, but then I was like, this was Kelsey.
Yeah. It was literally the next page from, because I wrote that first, but I was like, I also want to write something sweet.
So that must have been on the right side and then flip the page. Then
it was, there was an open space on the left and I was like, let me just do it over here so it doesn't look like.
Okay. I think it was a different color too.
Yeah, I picked a different color pen too.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I purposely put that question in to see if you would bring up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, or it can be hard, but it can't be long. I just thought of that on the spot before I read. Yeah.
Well, I bought a scrapbook that we want to put all the cards that we got. Some people wrote some really sweet things, and some of the cards are beautiful. So
maybe that's why not a lot of people wrote in the book. Then, if they already wrote you stuff on the cards.
So since there's only like a couple of pages in the notebook, and it's such a pretty notebook, I don't want it to go to waste. I'm just gonna rip out those pages and like tape it into the scrapbook.
That makes sense. Okay, what was your best wedding gift? Can't say money.
Damn.
So we know you got a lot of money.
Best wedding gift. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Lamps.
Lamps?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where like we've needed it since day one, like
Yes.
bedside lamps.
This has been a topic of conversation.
It's so funny because Jose and I have talked about it since the beginning that we need lamps because we hate
having to get up and turn off the light. Yeah.
But we've never gotten lamps.
Yeah, we have bedside lamps specifically so we don't have to get up and turn off the light.
We go to this, like, it's like we don't think about it when we're at the store,
Mhm.
but when it's happening, like, God damn, like, when are we gonna get these lamps?
Every night, God damn it, we need a lamp.
But seriously, but we never like went out to go get them. I mean, we've been here for 7 months, never.
Yeah.
And
Just
every
who got
night,
them,
same
do you
thing.
know?
I know. I'm assuming it's Chris because when Daniela was doing my nails, he was there and he was like, "Hey, is there anything you guys like absolutely need for the house?" And I brought that up and I was like, "Well, lamps. Like we need lamps. Like we always
So he
talk
got you
about
matching
it."
bedside lamps?
And he goes, "Okay." And then he like went to go eat something. He came back. He's like, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be back later. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And Jose put them in like right away. And like I love them. Like
so much
why
better.
didn't we get this sooner? But that was the best gift.
Yeah, I also like hate overhead lights. So like for us, especially like in our sanctuary of our bedroom, like
they have
no overhead lights.
Right. And like we've gone to stores before and have gone to the lamp section. We never found one that we liked.
Yeah, we went yard sailing together, the three of us.
Oh, see, we were talking about it then.
You were like, babe, we can get these lamps. And he's like, no, like he didn't really like them.
Yeah.
Or they weren't matching.
Yeah. But these are perfect. Like literally, like
good thing you waited then.
We
wanted, now you have a good memory attached to it. Yeah.
We wanted something simple but nice and elegant. And I mean, that's what it is. So
also, I would like to mention the liquor cart.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Oh, I should post that on Facebook. Oh, it's midnight now. I'll post it. No, I'm gonna do it anyway, so I'm gonna forget. Yeah, we got a package to the house for Jose and Angelica, and it was a
liquor cart.
A liquor cart, liquor and wine cart. Mm-hmm. And we have no idea who gave it to us.
Very nice.
Excuse me, I've been burping all afternoon. And Kelsey gave me the idea to post it on Facebook and just say like, hey, whoever gave this to us, thank you so much. Like it's Jose's favorite gift.
Yeah. It's really cool. And you guys have a lot of liquor to put on it, so it's
Jose
full.
has a lot of liquor to put on it. Well, I'll take a better picture of it. Yeah. We've added stuff since we assembled it.
It looks nice in the area that it's in the living room.
It looks really nice. Thank you to whoever got that for us.
Okay, next question. What is something you would have done differently? I think we kind of already talked about that. Yeah. But like just not worrying as much. But I mean, worrying is in your DNA.
Well, this is something that I talked to you before we started recording is, which is something that Jose's cousin had told me before the wedding is assign people tasks. Mm-hmm. But because I always felt like a burden, like I didn't want to do that to people. I wanted people to enjoy themselves. That's the one thing I would change is I would give people tasks. So like the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, the task of passing out cups when we go do the toast, passing out the cake when it's time, and I didn't do that. So that's something I would have done.
There was like a little bit of like panic in between of like, I need help.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was my bad because I didn't.
You were very specific about what you needed. Okay. What did you guys do after leaving the reception? Which we kind of touched on, but
I went and got tacos.
We got tacos from a taco truck on Washington Street or something.
Lafayette and Lafayette and.
Were they good?
Yeah, I got a torta. Yeah, they're really good.
I bet you were hungry since you barely picked at your food at 8 o'clock and didn't eat anything before that.
Starving.
I'm sure you had a big fat poop after that.
Well, the next day, yeah.
I'll probably cut that.
Nah, it's okay. We all do it.
What did you do as on your first day as husband and wife? You slept in, I'm sure.
We slept in. That would have been Sunday, right? Okay, yeah.
I was like catching myself wondering what you guys were doing all week because I knew you guys were off work. I'm like, what are they doing right now? And the one time I called you and you guys were at Michael's, I'm like, this is what newlyweds do. They go to Michael's.
Well, we wanted like a display case for all of the religious items. We wanted to have that on display. We wanted to have a scrapbook to put like the cards in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We were off. We just went. Yeah. We had time. But the first day, that Sunday, Jose's mom had people from Chicago. And since he kind of was up and ready before I was. He went by himself, which I was kind of like,
Yeah.
first they married and we're already separating.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then I went to my dad's side of the family, who a lot of people came from Chicago, and then Jose came later on. It was really nice. Like, I got thanked for bringing the family together. Like, your wedding brought us together. Like, thank you for that. And I'm like, you're welcome.
Jose's family?
No, my family.
Oh, okay.
My dad's side of the family. And it was really nice. Like, I don't know. It's like a lot of cousins on my dad's side are much, much older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't grow up with them. So it's really nice now to like get to know them on a deeper level and like getting to live these moments with them and joke around and, you know.
So the one thing I was going to say was that the week leading up to your wedding and stuff, as I'm like telling Travis everything that's going on and like getting ready for the wedding and like showing him like my dress and my shoes, and I'm going to do this with my hair, I'm going to do this with my nails, and he's like getting excited for me and stuff. He keeps mentioning like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And I'm like, dude, what do you mean do it again? He's like, can't we do like a vow renewal or something? And I'm like, yeah, we can do that. And he's like, okay, let's do that. Let's do it next year. And I'm like, which if you don't know, next year would be 7 years, which our wedding anniversary is September 22nd. So in a week.
Yeah.
Literally a week from today is our wedding anniversary, which would be 6 years. I'm like, it's going to be so weird if we do it as 7 years. I'm like, let's wait for 10.
Let's wait for 10, yeah.
And yes, absolutely, we can do it at 10. Like, he wants to have a vow renewal and throw a big party. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet that, like, all this wedding talk makes you want to, like, marry me again.
Yeah.
Which is very sweet. So,
that's cute.
Be looking forward to vow renewal.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
He's like, let's start saving now. We're going to get a big venue for the reception and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
4 years.
Yeah.
Of saving.
Yeah, 4 years of saving, yeah. And which our first wedding, like, of course there are like things that I would do differently. Like, and I've always said like it was perfect. Like, this is exactly how I like imagined it. But I do wish that we were able to hire a professional DJ, which we didn't do. We borrowed a speaker from like a big like DJ speaker from someone. And like I created a playlist and had somebody like running the playlist basically. Turns out later that the speaker wasn't working very well. It wasn't very loud. And then once we did get it working, like I just wish there was somebody like actually running it and I could say, this is what I want, and then like match that energy. And so like I would really love to do that again at a vow renewal or whatever. And then like really the food was great at my wedding. I remember that. So like being able to recreate that, but not have my mother-in-law do it, which I'm sure was a lot of stress on her. Yeah, just like vendors instead of like family doing everything and being able to like kind of do it bigger. I think that would be really fun to like party with everyone, like maybe a little bit later into the night, which I think my wedding wasn't that late. Like probably 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think so.
But it was good. It was good. Yep.
I was gonna say, like I said, I tend to have low expectations so that I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think like my wedding turned out better than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I wasn't worried about it at all, and
I mean there were some tips here and there, and
yeah.
And I know people were like the biggest advice was like stay present as much as possible because it will go by quickly.
Yeah.
And it did go by quickly.
Even though you were in it for 25 hours.
Yeah. Even though it was all literally
25
hours, it still went by quickly. But
yeah. But I think looking back on the day, you have a positive outlook on that day. And it wasn't like the first thing you don't think of is the little tiffs.
I would say like the beginning half of the reception, I was so worried about so many things, but the later half was so relaxed. Yeah. And like those moments, it was easy for me to like latch on to and like be fine with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is a long one.
What's next?
Jose's going to be on the pod next week.
Oh yeah.
Whether he wants to or not.
He will. He will.
I'll be here too, just to administer some questions where you guys are going to play the Newlywed Game and to make sure that everything gets recorded correctly.
Yeah.
So look forward to hearing from Jose more than you did on this episode next week. And we've got some other things planned. I think it's going to be good. We almost didn't get recorded this week because I was sick and we had to push it off, and if we didn't record right now, it was like, when are we going to have time to record? So I'm glad we did. I'm glad I was feeling better enough to like
I'm glad you're feeling better
get here and do it, because it was a really good episode. It was a long one. Sorry it was so long. I bet you enjoyed it though.
And I'm sure, like, listening back to it, I'll be like, oh fuck, I didn't even talk about this
Yeah.
or this or this.
There'll be so much stuff that we didn't cover.
So,
But all right, we'll see y'all next week.
goodbye.
Bye.